Thanks, Katie. It's college football kickoff weekend across the nation, and we're in a special place, Blacksburg, as Virginia Tech ushers in the Justin Fuente era. Today, Liberty enters a packed Lane Stadium, hoping to pull off the big upset. It's week one, the time the teams across the nation are feeling invincible.
When it's at its toughest, the greatest ones step up.
The success of this team depends on me.
You hang in there, you fight, you scratch, you claw, and you find a way to win.
The tougher it gets, what? The better we freaking play.
Thanks to Skillet for getting us going all season long. Virginia Tech fans are pumped for the opener of one of the great entrances in college football as the Hokies take the field to enter Sandman. The ACC Network Game of the Week presented by Mellow Mushroom, ready to kick off the season as the Liberty Flames take on the Virginia Tech Hokies. So great to have you with us for week one here on the ACC Network. Tom Wormy along with Dave Archer. Roddy Jones will join us in just a moment. What a promising season lies ahead here in the ACC, Dave. When you look at those rankings in the nation, in the top 25, 4 of those teams are part of the ACC.
2 of them in the top 10, and both of them are in the Atlantic Conference. When you talk Atlantic side of the conference, when you talk about Clemson at number 2 in the country, and of course Florida State, they'll play each other later on in the year. Don't sleep on Louisville. NC State's off to a great start. You go to the other side in the Coastal. I love UNC, but don't sleep on Pittsburgh. How about Miami? How about the Virginia Tech Hokies? Hey, wide open.
And here in Blacksburg, a legend has moved on. Frank Beamer retiring after 29 years on the sidelines. Game 1 for Justin Fuente.
And he brings in a reputation of a high-powered offense, and he's got a familiar figure wandering the sidelines as his defensive coordinator. That's Bud Foster. For more with the Hokie coach, here's Roddy Jones.
A lot of energy and excitement in the stadium. What do you expect to see from your team today?
Well, I'd like to see us play smart football. I know we've got a lot of emotion. We're anxious to play, but it's a first game, and we know how first games can go. We've preached it all week or the last 2 weeks and all through camp. I'd like to see us play smart football.
Thanks, Coach. Have a good game.
His team, and you look at their quarterback at 6'4", 235. Gerard Evans comes in from a community college, Trinity Valley Community College in Texas. He has had an outstanding spring. He's done an outstanding job at the quarterback spot. But what makes a quarterback feel good? A guy you can throw it to. How about the only Hokie receiver that's got over 1,000 yards receiving? He hopes to duplicate that, maybe even more. Isaiah Ford, the All-ACC performer.
Dave, this is the first ever meeting between these two programs. Liberty comes from the football championship subdivision with a guy you know oh so well from your playing days, Turner Gill.
Nobody more competitive than the former Nebraska quarterback Turner Gill. He is fired up about this opportunity. He says he has maybe the fastest team he's ever had. He's looking forward to getting a young quarterback. Lost his quarterback from a year ago, Stefan Masha, outstanding athlete. The Hokies better be dialed into this young man because he's going to run all over the field.
Liberty and Virginia Tech moments away from that opening kickoff. Virginia Tech won the toss, elected to defer. Frankie Hickson, one of the deep men, along with Alpha Jallo for Justin Fuente. The opening kickoff from Joey Sly, the junior from Stafford, Virginia. What a setting here in Blacksburg, and there will be no return. ACC football is brought to you in HD by your local Tire Pros dealers.
What an unbelievable setting. Football is back, and it's a college football Saturday. Lane Stadium. Are you kidding me? This is awesome.
So we'll get a look at that Liberty offense to start with. You just talked about Stefan Masha, one of the captains. And Dave, really he made his mark with this program a couple of seasons ago. That big win against #1 in the country, Coastal Carolina.
Not a foreign to being on the field. It did not play a lot last year, but they love the athleticism.
They'll go to the ground and not get much up near the 25. All right, it's time for the impact players, brought to you by Food Lion, Dave.
But when you look at this, you get the transfer up front. Tanner Hartman comes in from Penn State. They love him up front. And then this is a kid that they're going to try to get the football to. The coaching staff raved about B.J. Farrow.
He's a sophomore from Lynchburg, Virginia, which is the home of Liberty University. Macon goes up the middle for the short gain. Woody Barron right on the nose making the stop. They got 6 on the play, though.
And Tom, this is where Liberty needs to stay in this third and short, third and medium scenario. A lot of play calls here for Joe Daly, the offensive coordinator at Liberty. Like to keep his young quarterback, a little bit inexperienced, like to keep his quarterback in good manageable situations, trying to get the right personnel on the field here off the Liberty sideline.
Liberty was 3rd in the Big South a season ago in third down conversions, 40%. Masha, he'll loft it toward the sideline, and it'll bring up 4th down for Liberty. Vinny Mahota had the pressure. Impact players on defense for Virginia Tech, Dave.
Kenny Canham coming off the edge. He's an outstanding pass rusher. We just saw Mahota on the other side as a big-time passer as well. And you got Andrew Mutuapuaka. He's the eraser, Bud Foster calls him. He feels like this is going to be a huge year. Scored 3 times defensively for this Hokie team a year ago. And then Chuck Clark, they call him Boom, and the noise is in the building.
Those are the Food Line impact players defensively for Virginia Tech. Greg Stroman is the deep man, as Trey Turner, 2 times an all-conference selection to the Big South, will punt it away. Stroman, 24-yard line. Eludes 4 men. Stroman up to the 40 on the return for Virginia Tech.
But Tom, when you look at the quarterback situation here at Virginia Tech, obviously Michael Brewer has moved on. They looked around. They found junior college transfer Gerard Evans. Big arm. He's a big-body kid. He will run the football, and he has that it factor. We had a chance to meet him yesterday. When he stepped in the room, he just kind of commands your attention. That's what they liked about him taking control here at Virginia Tech.
Able to establish some chemistry with that very talented wide receiver core. They'll flip it out to the edge. Cam Phillips across midfield and dragged out of bounds into Liberty territory. 15 yards and a 1st down.
Gets a really good block from the other receiver. You see Bucky Hodges at 6'6" blocking out in front of Cam Phillips. And I think Phillips is the unsung guy of the 3. Ford, Hodges, Phillips.
1st down for the Hokies. Some misdirection. To the 40 goes Sam Rogers. Time for the Food Lion impact players on offense for Virginia Tech. Day.
McLaughlin switches from left side to right side. 35 starts for him in his Hokie career. And Isaiah Ford, the All-ACC performer, first Hokie receiver with 1,000 yards.
75 catches a season ago. He's got one right there down to the 35. Those 75 catches last year for Ford, representing a school record.
They talked about how Ford had an amazing offseason. They say nobody works harder than Ford here in Blacksburg. He's put on a little bit of weight, and he is ready to roll.
Yeah, 11 touchdown catches last year, as also a school record, and that led the ACC. This will be 4 towards the 35. And no gain on the play as Erwin DeSources, number 42, and White making the stop for Liberty.
Really good job by Liberty to smell out that quick screen on 3rd down and stop the Hokies from converting to force this long field goal attempt. So good job by Liberty. An opportunity to get a stop on 3rd down.
Joey Sly is going to attempt a 52-yard field goal. 23 of 30 last year. Those 23 made, a school record for Sly. 52 yards away. It is no good.
So excellent opening start, though. If you're Turner Gill's team, Liberty, all the magic going on in the building, Liberty is able to get a stop and get off the field to keep the Hokies from scoring. Let's see how close this was. Sly trying to pull it in. I think he thought the wind might help him a little bit, but it stayed out on that right side.
That would have been a career long for Sly, who has hit from 49 yards away, but he has never hit from beyond 50. He's 0 for 8 now in his career. Now Turner Gill's team and Stefan Masha, the junior from Marietta, Georgia, goes back to work from the 35. King. A short gain for King for this Liberty team that went 6-5 last year, Dave, and 3-3 in conference play.
Yeah, this is when you look at this defense, Tom, they do a great job of leveraging the ball carrier. Mook Reynolds is there. We talked about Clark, the safety, that likes to bring the noise from the free safety spot. Big hit there.
2nd and 7. Snap, loose on the turf. Fight for the loose ball. Inside the 25, there's a pile. Who's got it? Virginia Tech. Vinny Mahota knocked it free. Tremaine Edmonds comes up with it as they lose 14 of the play, Dave.
I'm sorry, Tom. It's a high snap, and as you mentioned, Mahota was there, shot out of a cannon. Then it's a scramble for the football. A number of players from both teams had a chance to get on top of it. But Bud Foster, they did not have as many takeaways a year ago as they're accustomed to. Just 25 takeaways. Well, they already have one already. There's fumble recoveries. They wanted to up their interception total. Well, they already have a fumble recovery. Led the FBS last year in takeaways from a fumble standpoint. Coach Foster talked about some interceptions they wanted to gain on this year, but fumble recoveries already got one.
Traditionally so good on special teams. They'll go to the ground with Trayvon McMillan, who went over 1,000 yards last season. Has 2 there as Jawan Wells, number 54, makes the stop for Liberty.
Obviously, this is a departure from what anybody that's watched Virginia Tech offense in recent years. Virginia Tech offense may be a little bit more I formation, run the football, ISO. This is going to be a spread attack.
Evans to his right. Phillips walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Virginia Tech.
There's Hodges clearing it out, and Cam Phillips is underneath, and nobody home for Liberty in the coverage. Hodges did a good job of clearing it out, just a blown coverage, but how about Evans? Striking quickly. 38 touchdowns a year ago at the JC level. He's got his first at the FBS level.
23 yards on that play. The extra point from Sly. Phillips had 2 TD grabs last season. He's got his first against Liberty. The Hokies 7-0 on the ACC network.
ACC football is brought to you by Mellow Mushroom, a higher order of pizza. By Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By Coca-Cola. By your local Chevy dealers. And by Haviland Motor Oil, proud sponsor of the Everyday Driver.
What a start for the Hokies, and Gerard Evans throwing his first touchdown pass. It was 23 yards, Dave, to Cam Phillips.
Well, Phillips is right here in the slot. You're going to get the clear. You get run action that way, which is going to pull the defender out of the middle of the field. Middle of the field is open. Cam Phillips runs the out route with Hodges clearing, and it's a walk-in for Cam Phillips. Nice execution by the Hokies.
All right, now time for our Carolina Ford Keys to the game with Dave Archer.
Well, can you handle embrace the opportunity? A great opportunity to play in front of a huge crowd. A lot of these kids for Liberty are from Virginia. Great opportunities. First time they've ever played at Virginia Tech. Embrace that. Enjoy it. Play as well as you can, obviously. And for the Hokies, big date next week in Bristol, Tennessee. Make sure you focus today. Get your job done today. Then you can go play the Volunteers.
Just 2 plays on that scoring drive for Virginia Tech. Took them only 33 seconds after the fumble recovery to take the 7-0 lead. This is Mosley. Flags are out.
Full start. Number 73. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That is our referee, Stuart Mullins, in charge of the proceedings this afternoon from Blacksburg. Sam Isaacson, false start.
Tom, when you think about it, the crowd noise here, and they've got a beautiful stadium in Lynchburg for where Liberty plays, but this is a packed house at Lane Stadium. A lot of noise into the line of scrimmage, maybe having a tough time handling or hearing the snap count from Masha.
Now Lynchburg only 90 miles away from Blacksburg. Flag comes out. Play does not develop.
Yeah, another flinch. It's going to be Campbell, the guy standing right next to Isaacson, the right guard this time.
5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, when Aaron Campbell moves, you know about it. 355-pounder and a senior. All right, let's check in with Roddy Jones on the sidelines.
Obviously, guys, it's the start of the Justin Fuente era, but my spotlight today, the guy that I'm looking for is Andrew Matua-Pawaka, the middle linebacker on this Virginia Tech defense. Art, you mentioned it. Bud Foster wants him to be more of an eraser as he grows into that leadership position and knows the defense even more.
Scored 3 touchdowns a year ago, did Matua-Pawaka.
Masha rolls and throws. It's broken up near the 25-yard line. Farrell was the intended receiver. Brandon Faison was back there defensively.
And they're hoping that Faison is back. Look at the tight coverage on the outside. He's right there, almost intercepted the pass. This is a kid that had 5 interceptions as a freshman. He's been banged up his last couple of years. He enters the season healthy, and boy, Virginia Tech excited that Faison's ready to go.
31 tackles a season ago for number 31. 2nd and 20 for Liberty. Masha takes off up the middle into the 20. They'll pick up 5 on the play. Kenny Canham, number 4, the senior from Centerville, Virginia.
Tom, we had a chance to visit with Joe Daly, the offensive coordinator at Liberty, and he said he wanted to get Masha heavily involved in the run game. Bud Foster knows that, calling defenses to try to contain the very athletic quarterback for Liberty.
Bud Foster, longtime defensive coordinator, shared some time with us yesterday. A renewed energy and spirit for Foster and for the Hokies. That is a completion up near the 34-yard line to B.J. Farrow, who goes out of bounds. 14 on the play, but it is short of the sticks.
Now, B.J. Farrow is a guy that this coaching staff at Liberty raved about. Nice job by Masha to get out of the pocket, and then Farrow, the sophomore, worked back to get the football. And how about rolling the dice early if you're Turner Gill?
They made it 55% of the time last year on 4th down. Going 6-5, had some upset wins at home against Montana and Coastal Carolina. But here comes 4th down, and here comes the 12th man in the seats here at Lane Stadium. They'll try to go up the middle with Mosley. It appears that he's going to have enough. He got 2 officially on the play, and the chains are moving. Vinny Mahota made the tackle.
A good hard running by Mosley. 235-pound Black was able to run through the arm tackle there in the backfield and push it through for first down. You see the aggressiveness of the coach Turner, right? Turner Gill, aggressive here, Tom, early in the game.
Why not? On the road against the ACC. Liberty is 0-4 all time against the Atlantic Coast Conference, and it looked like more movement on that Liberty line.
What's happening up front, Tom, is Bud Foster's defensive front is stemming, meaning they're moving pre-snap, and some of that movement is creating some uncertainty in an offensive line, and a little jump there. Roddy, pretty loud in Lane Stadium.
Lane Stadium, one of the loudest places in the ACC. This place is absolutely rocking. And when I talked to Coach Joe Daly, the offensive coordinator, earlier this week, he didn't seem concerned about the noise, but 3 false starts so far, you can tell there's a little bit of jitters on this Liberty offense.
1st and 15, and yet another yellow penalty marker. It's against the Flames.
Again, Virginia Tech moving pre-snap in their D-line. They're lining up in a set and then sliding. Let's take a look at it. Watch Virginia Tech move. A little bit of movement, and then you get the flinch. That's 4. Roddy said 3. That's 4 now. Pre-snap problems.
Back to 1st and 20. Liberty has to get to the 46-yard line. And they got a timeout right
Timeout.
prior
Liberty.
to
They're
that
first
play
in the
clock running out. We'll also step aside. Liberty has the ball. Virginia Tech has the lead on the ACC network.
Tailgating starts with Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits.
Opening weekend in college football. Nothing like it, and fans were out early tailgating. And as usual, Bojangles came along for the ride. It's bow time at Bojangles. Grab a big bow box and feed the whole group with Bojangles chicken, biscuits, fixins, and tea. Remember, it's always bow time when you're tailgating. Saw Dave Archer out there with a couple of biscuits and some tea.
I had to drag Roddy Jones away from that table.
1st and 20. And another flag comes out. This could be the 5th penalty against the offensive line for the Flames.
Number 73. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Virginia Tech's going to stem. Watch them move. See, as soon as they slide, Liberty is having a tough time holding their water up front. They can't hang on to it, and they've moved. That's 5 dead ball penalties now, pre-snap movement.
That'll make it 1st and 25. It's Mosley. Gets across the 25-yard line. Carrington Mosley, junior from Brookneal, Virginia. He got 6 yards on the play, and they will keep it moving. Masha hands it off, and it's Mosley again, right to the 30-yard line.
And I think they're just trying to, a quick snap count, trying to settle down the offensive line, let them come off the ball, maybe catch Virginia Tech before they move. Just trying to settle the team down with those last 2 play calls. Mosley's a big back, too, at 235 pounds.
Third and 16. Have to get up to the 46-yard line for the first. Masha flips it off to the fingertips of Kendall Kuhlman and incomplete. And it's 4th down for Liberty.
Well, Virginia Tech might be the best in the country at disguising blitz. They're going to come off the edge. There's Motua Pawaka coming off the edge, tries to elevate and get in the face of Masha. And I thought Masha really held his poise extremely well. Makes a good throw, Tom, to Kuhlman, but it goes right through the hands and incomplete. Almost picked off, but a good read by the quarterback against the blitz.
Greg Stroman will return this punt from Trey Turner.
Stroman had a punt return for a touchdown in the bowl game against Tulsa.
55-52 win in that bowl game in the Independence Bowl in Shreveport,
Offense.
Louisiana.
5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Another penalty against Liberty.
Yeah, these pre-snap penalties. Roddy talked about it. I think that's now 6 pre-snap penalties for this team. It's just you're in this environment, and you can't duplicate this in practice. You can pipe in all the crowd noise, which they said they did when in practice, but until you get here and people are eating turkey legs and people are screaming and doing all sorts of stuff, you cannot assimilate that. And so they're having a tough time just settling down and playing.
As Dave mentioned, Stroman went 67 yards on a punt return in the 2nd quarter in that big win against Tulsa. 55-52 at the Independence Bowl. Turner gets it away.
I think that hit the back of a Hokie player.
Well, pile-ups right inside the 35-yard line. It was kind of a low liner.
It looked like it may have.
Well, Liberty certainly thinks it has possession, and the officials are agreeing. There's the
Curtis
indication.
Williams. I think this hits Curtis Williams on the back as he's trying to block the gunner. Curtis Williams, number 28, clipped his right shoulder. And a really good job by Liberty to understand that ball has been touched downfield. And they've got an opportunity with a short field here.
That the kick was touched by the receiving team and recovered by the kicking team.
So a break for the Flames on special teams after having so much trouble and all those penalties on the previous drive. It was a 41-yard punt, but covered by Marquise Fitzgerald. So the Flames will have possession, and the Virginia Tech defense has to go back out on the field. Here's our Coca-Cola ACC standings, and we start with the Coastal Division. This is from last year, North Carolina, all the way to Charlotte for the ACC championship game.
Yeah, North Carolina's got a big game later on today against Georgia in that intersectional battle down in Atlanta. We know Georgia Tech already on the board. They had a heck of a battle over in Ireland against BC. It came down to the wire. Justin Thomas scored late to win 17-14. And then when you look at the Atlantic, the two heavyweights sitting at the top. Clemson, Florida State. Clemson loses the national title game a year ago. Florida State supposed those two face each other October 29. Be a great battle. Louisville already off to a great start. How about their young quarterback? He lit it up on opening day here a couple of nights ago.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, Liberty.
So the ball does hit the Hokie player Williams, and now Liberty with an opportunity here on a short field.
Justin Fuente, after 4 years as the Memphis head coach, bowl games in 2014 and last year. He did not coach in the bowl game last year. 1st and 10 for Liberty after the break on special teams, and they covered the loose ball. Masha going wide and incomplete. Now, was that behind the line of scrimmage? Sure looked like it from our vantage point, Dave. The ball does bounce out of bounds, and we'll stay with Liberty.
And a good job over there by Damian King, the wide receiver. He realized that the ball was thrown behind the line of scrimmage, and he actually tries to get on it and bat it out of bounds before Virginia Tech could get on it.
So they will lose 4 on the play.
He actually got hurt on the play, but good play by the senior wide receiver.
Call it 2nd and 14 for the Flames. Masha, incomplete. Stroman had the coverage on Zach Parker.
Just a little too tall. I like the idea. Get Masha outside. Outstanding athlete throwing the ball on the run. Had to throw it over the top of a Hokie defender and just didn't pull the ball down on his receiver. And Stroman is right there to make sure Parker doesn't come up with it.
Greg Stroman, the junior from Bristow, Virginia, now 3rd and 14.
He's kind of been a nickelback, Tom, for the last couple of years. We're excited about the fact that he's now the starting corner. Got great speed on the outside.
Liberty 0 for 3 so far in 3rd down situations. Masha leaves the pocket. Bounces off a couple of Hokies beyond the 30, but he's well short of the marker. Woody Barron on the tackle and a 9-yard run from Stefan Masha.
Well, I think this is a design play now. Masha going to drop to throw, and you watch how the Hokies bail out. Okay, Hokies go back in coverage. Now it's a design quarterback draw. Gets a block out in front from making his tailback, and he hits it up in there where now they're back to a medium situation here on 4th down.
3 runs for 10 yards for Masha. 2 of 6 and 17 yards through the air. 4th and 5 as they go for it on 4th down again. That's going to be short. Forward progress up to about the 26, 3 yards on the play. Cannon Smith on the reception.
Well, more often than not, you can bet that the Hokies are coming. And again, full blitz coming. And a good job by Virginia Tech to sort it out.
We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after a word from your local ACC station. You're watching ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. Back in Blacksburg, what a perfect day for college football and the opener for both of these teams. Virginia Tech, which went 7-6 last season, 4-4 in conference play. Gerard Evans, the junior college transfer, the first in the modern era for Virginia Tech. He's hit all of his passes, make it 5 for 5, and this is 4. Tries to sidestep a couple of defenders and falls up to the 31 or 2. 5 yards on that play.
Look at these food line impact players for Liberty. Jaron Green is a big fella up front. He gets after you. Nick Newman, maybe their best player on the defensive side of the ball. The linebacker, of course, Turner, big time corner on the outside, size.
It's a long pass from Evans. Ford got tied up with his defender. And that'll be incomplete, the first of the afternoon.
And that was the aforementioned Chris Turner, the big corner. He's got a tough matchup when you start talking about having to cover the likes of Isaiah Ford, Bucky Hodges. That's his first incompletion. You mentioned for Evans. There's Bucky Hodges, 6'7", played tight end his first 2 seasons. They have now moved him outside, and you talk about a matchup nightmare.
Evans floats it. C.J. Carroll was the intended receiver. Jeremy Peters going stride for stride, and it's incomplete.
Well, got what they wanted. Just an errant throw that time. Not on the same page with Carroll was Evans. And so a good stop for Liberty. After a good play on first down on the screen, Liberty gets 2 incompletions. They're going to get the ball back.
Mitchell Ludwig's going to have to come in and kick to Damian King, the deep man, number 7 in white. Ludwig with his first career punt. Back to the 30. Damian King makes a successful fair catch. Let's check in with Katie and Stan on BC and Georgia Tech.
Thanks, Wormy, here in the Charlotte studio for your update. Georgia Tech, Boston College early this morning, 4th and 19. Stan, what's going on?
They should have punted the football, but what you have is Paul Johnson trusting in his senior quarterback, Justin Thomas.
And that's Dedrick Mills punching it in, 17-14, the final. Georgia Tech on top, Tom.
Thank you, Witham. Great work in the studio as usual. Well, the ACC Blitz powered by Ram trucks prior to the start of our game this afternoon, and that'll be all season long. Masha will tuck and duck out of bounds to about the 34, Dave.
Tom, I don't think we can send 2 teams to Ireland or someplace every weekend, but that was kind of cool to get up at 7:30 and see an ACC game when we got up. Have a chance to watch Boston College and watch Georgia Tech. Really a spirited effort by Steve Adazio's team, the way they played. They got the new quarterback Tolles up there, the transfer from Kentucky. I think they're going to make some noise before it's all said and done. Heck of a game by those 2 teams.
Boston College did not win a conference game last year. They lost their first game out of the gate today against Georgia Tech. It was Macon on the carry.
You know, when you talk about Bud Foster's defense, we so often talk about the secondary, but he's had some really good defensive linemen here as well. Nigel Williams, another one of those guys. He's got Woody Barron at D tackle, Nigel Williams at defensive tackle. He talks about, I got to be strong in the middle. Yeah, we've got guys that can flash off the edge and cover, but we need to be tough in the middle. You talk about Williams and Barron, and we talk Motua Pawaka, the linebacker. They've got it covered in the middle.
Another 3rd down for Liberty, 3rd and 7. They'll go with a 5-receiver set.
So you got to be careful for Virginia Tech because of Masha's athleticism.
That one sails over everyone. Looked like he was trying to target Damian King. Terrell Edmonds back there for Virginia Tech. Another punt for Liberty.
Terrell Edmonds. 26 brother combinations have played here at Virginia Tech, and the Edmonds brothers. Now Trey just moved on, but Terrell and Tremaine are still here. Their father Farrell, I had a chance to play with Farrell way back in the day. He was a big-time tight end out of Maryland, but the Edmonds boys are still getting it done here at Virginia Tech.
Strowman, the deep man. Trey Turner, who led the conference in punting last year, just over 40 yards per punt from Turner in the Big South. First ever Big South opponent for Virginia Tech. Strowman will let it bounce and then pick it up. 15. Dropped at the 20. 52-yard punt, a 5-yard return. Frankie Hickson on the tackle on special teams. We go around the ACC, presented by Mattress Firm.
Tom, the aforementioned game that we saw in Ireland, big-time game between those 2 teams, Villanova, Pittsburgh, and then when you look down the list, some amazing intersectional battles coming up. North Carolina, Georgia, of course, Clemson, the number 2 team in the country, playing Auburn. And how about, don't forget Monday night now, Florida State and Ole Miss, which ought to be a classic as well.
Told you that the legend Frank Beamer is no longer on the sidelines as Justin Fuente takes over. His son Shane on the Georgia coaching staff, and they'll take on North Carolina later today. In fact, Coach Beamer actually expecting a grandchild any moment now. His daughter Casey expecting very soon.
The 5th. This is their 5th, and he would have been here, but obviously you can't miss one of your grandchildren coming into the world, and so he's excited about it. His 5th coming in. He will be at Bristol next week. He said he will not miss Virginia Tech in Tennessee.
Evans trying to avoid the pressure. That ball bouncing around. Liberty thinks they have it. Officials say it's Flames ball.
Yeah, and it's pressure by Green, one of our Food Lion impact players. Jaron Green is the guy that's going to come in and get around the waist of Evans.
Ruling on
and
the
ball
previous
comes
play of a
out.
fumble
Was the arm
recovered by
going
the
forward?
defense.
Look for big number 76 to burst through and get around the legs of the quarterback. And yeah, it looks like he just lost the grip on the ball before his arm started forward. They'll obviously take a look at that. Let's see if the ball is loose before the arm starts forward. Green around the leg. Yeah, the ball's out. Boy, what a great play by Green in that defensive front to pressure the quarterback.
Tolan Avery, number 55 in white, was able to dive on it. And the call on the field was a fumble.
Review, the quarterback brought an empty hand forward after losing possession of the ball. It is a fumble. The ruling is confirmed. First down.
And the call will stand after the review.
Well, another short field opportunity. We saw the ball that was tipped or touched on the punt. Virginia Tech's defense held, now deep in their own territory. Another sudden change situation for Bud Foster's defense.
Masha looking to the end zone. Incomplete. B.J. Farrow, number 82. Stroman back there, number 3 for Virginia Tech.
Farrell, the guy that they just raved about, has a tremendous catch rate. As they said, you can throw it anywhere in the area and he's going to catch it. That time, Stroman in perfect position.
Second and goal now for Liberty, trailing 7-0. Macon trying to turn that corner and grind down to the 5-yard line. Picks up 5 on the run. Motua Poaka making the tackle for Virginia Tech, 54.
Well, Virginia Tech jumped into a bear front, meaning they're covering all the offensive linemen up front and then going to run the sweep that way. Ekanum shoots to the outside. Good hard running by Macon at the end of this.
Third and goal. To the end zone. Flag comes out. Official says touchdown. It was right on the play, but again, there is a flag out. There's already been a touchdown indication from the closest official as Shells made the catch against Edmonds. Will it stand, and what's the flag?
Pass interference, number 3, defense. Penalties decline. Touchdown.
What a big-time catch by Dante Shells over the top of Faison.
The ruling.
Tight coverage, going to throw the fade. Look at the concentrate. You see the push-off by Faison. Is the toe come down? Yeah, toe is down before heel comes down. Take a look at that. And they'll always take a look at him, but it looked like the toe was down, inbounds. Boy, good catch, Faison. You saw the interference. Watch the toe, the right toe.
So close.
Bang, bang, toe, heel.
It does look like the front part of his shoe that was just above the line. And see if this call is going to stand. Currently under review.
Kind of interesting on the interpretation here, Tom, when you start talking about the foot, the toe was down first and then the heel came down. So secured the catch, toe, then heel. I mean, that's what they're obviously looking at.
After review, the receiver, toe went down, then the heel landed out of bounds. By rule, that's an incomplete pass.
Okay, that was the interpretation.
Will be enforced to the 2-yard line.
Because he's placing his foot on the ground, he had not completed the placement of the foot. So, yeah, the heel counts as being out of bounds. So, I think Coach Gill wants an explanation. So, wait a minute, I didn't see it that way.
Turner Gill in his 5th year. First game for Justin Fuente. Coach Gill is out on the field. He wanted a quick explanation. Now, again, there was a penalty called against Faison on the play. So it's still going to be first and goal for Liberty. So effectively the penalty was 3 yards. And the ball is spotted at the 2-yard line. Tight formation, Liberty. Into the end zone is Todd Macon. The 2-yard TD run. So after Evans fumbled, the Flames are able to cash it in, just an extra point away from tying this game.
Yeah, and it's a great job by Liberty to take advantage of the opportunities, embrace the moment. We talked about the keys, not only the environment and the opportunity to be here, but when you get turnovers, can you cash them in? And a good job there by Liberty to do that, taking over at the Virginia Tech 10.
Macon had 8 TD runs a season ago. He's got his first from just 2 yards out as Alex Probert, the freshman, looking to tie this game. No good.
Yeah, the freshman misses the kick, and this is something that plagued Liberty a year ago. They had 5 kicks blocked in the placement area a year ago. This time just a miss. But the youngster Probert, his first opportunity, and just kicked it wide right.
Well, for the first time in a long time, Dave, the legend Frank Beamer not patrolling the sidelines here at Lane Stadium, and what a career it has been. 29 years at Virginia Tech. 280 wins overall, 238 here in Blacksburg. 23 straight winning seasons. The numbers just continue to pile up.
Well, truly one of the legendary coaches. Pretty neat picture there of he and Shane Beamer, but his 23 consecutive bowl trips. You know, legend is not too strong a word to use with Frank Beamer.
Wearing number 25, and that number will be honored each and every game by a special teams player who will wear Frank Beamer's number 25. Stephen Peoples has the honor of wearing 25 today for Virginia Tech. And it's just one of those great gestures by the new coaching staff to link the past to the present and then into the future. Roddy?
Tom, we talked to Coach Justin Fuente yesterday about the number 25, and he said that he and John Boleyn, one of Frank Beamer's right-hand men, sat down and tried to figure out a way to honor Frank Beamer on a week-in, week-out basis. They went back and forth for months, and finally it was a text message from Boleyn that suggested a special teams player wear the number 25. And Coach Justin Fuente said he's been sitting on it for months. He could not wait to tell the world how they were going to honor Frank Beamer.
Roddy, thank you. From the 1-yard line, it is Greg Stroman. Races up the middle to the 30. Just about. They'll officially mark him at the 29. That's a 28-yard return for Stroman. Today's coverage of ACC football being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network. We welcome the men and women of the U.S. Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and Marines stationed around the globe in 175 countries and on the high seas. We're so proud to have you with us and hope you're enjoying the broadcast. So Evans leads the offense back onto the field. The last game at Lane Stadium without Frank Beamer as head coach. We have to go back to November of 1986, a win against Vanderbilt. Bill Dooley was the head coach back in '86, unfortunately passing away recently. Another ACC coaching legend. 3 yards on that play for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Murphy on the jet sweep there, just trying to get some of their other playmakers on the field. They've got a lot of people that can carry the ball, catch the ball here at Virginia Tech. Murphy, another one of those.
Second and 7 for the Hokies. Ford on the edge. Out of bounds. And up to the 42. 9 yards. Make it 10.
Now the only way these plays work is if you can get blocking. Look at Phillips, 5 out in front, gets the block on Turner, the corner, and then the big timer Isaiah Ford up the sideline. But the only way it works is if your battery mate, so to speak, can help you out, and Phillips did there.
4th catch of the game for Ford. They give it to Sam Rogers. Tries to get back to the original line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Dexter Robbins, number 30, making the stop for the Liberty Flames. Our 1st and 10 line brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery, celebrating their 10th anniversary and over $4 billion raised for education.
You know, Coach Gill told us about this defense. He said we're much faster defensively than he thinks any time that he can remember since he's been at Liberty, and it's showing up some. These guys are really flowing to the football.
And Phillips lost it out of bounds.
Again, more of that speed on the outside, Tom, as they're getting to these wide plays. Virginia Tech trying to spread out Liberty defensively and then throw the ball to their big timers on the outside. But McGinty, number 20, the junior college transfer, played against Evans in junior college. Those two guys talked. He had a lot of reverence and a lot of respect for what Evans brings to the table.
Over the middle, complete. Isaiah Ford at the 45-yard line, 14 yards and a Hokie first down.
Well, this was the first throw where you talk about him standing in the pocket, reading coverage, and then shooting the deep end route to Isaiah Ford over the middle. We've seen some bootlegs from him. We've seen some quick screens, but that was the first time we saw him stand in the confines of the pocket and shoot it down the field.
From the 44 of Liberty, puts some touch on this one. Ford put on the brakes, and he's down to the 21. He got away from Chris Turner.
Well, this is a really good matchup. Chris Turner led this team, Liberty, in interceptions a year ago. He's an outstanding cover guy, and we know about Isaiah Ford, the all-ACC performer, over 1,000 yards a year ago. Just does a good job of gearing down and catching it.
That was 22 yards on that play. Evans has to improvise, and he'll throw it where no one can get it.
Got some pressure by Wells. Wells is a guy that can get after the passer. Just didn't start all the games last year, but he had 5 sacks a year ago, so he can bring the noise off the edge as well. But he was in Evans's face there late, and a good decision. He just airmailed it over one of his receivers' heads. Nice job by Evans to preserve field position.
Second and 10. Rogers stumbling at the 20, and a penalty marker comes out.
Illegal block in the back. 85. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Check it out.
But Tom, when you talk about the epitome of kind of the heart and soul of a team, Sam Rogers would immediately come to mind. Former walk-on. Now, he wasn't a walk-on very long. Once he got here, they realized, wait a minute, this guy is a scholarship player, and they put him on scholarship. But he encompasses all that you can do to a team. How can I help the team? Tight end, fullback, running back. He's a personal protector for the passer. He does an amazing job of doing just about everything he's asked offensively.
Coaching staff calls him the smartest guy on the field, and he's got the football. Room to run, and spitting down to the 26. Dexter Robbins on the tackle, 5 yards on the run from Sam Rogers. And that will be the final play of the first quarter. What a day for college football. The cannon sounds here at Lane Stadium. This is ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. Back here in Blacksburg, Virginia. Just a gorgeous day. ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. It is the start of the second period. Evans back to pass on 3rd and 15. Eludes the pocket. Tries to shake his way down to the 15. Won't get there. Needed to get to the 12-yard line. Lucas Irons and Chris Turner combining on the stop of the junior quarterback.
Just a deep coverage here for Liberty as they back off. 7 men dropping. It's actually 8 men dropping off in coverage. So Evans pulls the ball down. Takes a few shots, and I'm sure that here's that coverage. Look how many defenders are deep. Really no place. Look at all the defenders deep here. Now he pulls it down and gets what he can.
Sly missed from 52 in the first period. Now Virginia Tech has called the timeout before he attempts this field goal.
They're first for the half.
So we will also take a moment, catch our breath, and crank up the second quarter with Justin Fuente and the Hokies.
Let's go. Let's go, Hokies.
ACC football is brought to you by Food Line, raising standards without raising prices. How refreshing. By your Carolina Ford dealers. By Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By Mattress Firm. And by Bojangles, it's Bow Time.
Here in Blacksburg, Joey Sly is going to attempt a 34-yard field goal out of the hold of Devin Wilson. He missed a 52-yarder. That would have been a career long. That was back in the first quarter. Opening moments of the second. And from 34 from Sly. This one is good. Sly gives the Hokies the 10-6 lead. Our first quarter stats are brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery, celebrating 10 years and more than $4 billion raised for education. Learn more at nc-educationlottery.org.
Now, Liberty has not been able to convert on third down, 0 for 5, but they have converted on fourth down, which has allowed them to stay on the field. You see the turnovers, neither team wants to do that, but the total yards fall in Virginia Tech's category. But you got to love that Liberty, if you're a Liberty fan, they've hung in here, taking the ball away a couple times.
Got their 6 points off of a fumble by Gerard Evans. Well, yesterday we were here at the stadium prepping for the game, and the folks from Mellow Mushroom, Leslie, Brooke, and Brad, visited our truck with pizzas for the crew. They didn't last long, I can tell you that. Took us a while to get everyone back to work after this.
Yeah, I don't think that the truck got set up till about midnight last night. These guys are still eating.
There was also some cookies, special order from Roddy Jones, who's on the sidelines for us today. So we thank the folks at Mellow Mushroom, Roddy.
Tom, those cookies were the size of dinner plates, and they were nice and warm. All I needed was a glass of milk to go with it. You kidding me? Those were so good. Thanks to the people at Mellow Mushroom Blacksburg for bringing them by.
Yeah, we welcome Mellow Mushroom to the broadcast. We look forward to being with them all season long. Once again, there will be no return on the kickoff as we go back to our Charlotte studios.
Thanks, Tom. Here with Coach Bowden and Louisville all over Charlotte. The other night, Lamar Jackson, a big game.
Well, Lamar Jackson, 16 different receivers caught balls. I've had teams that couldn't have 16 receivers on.
8 touchdowns he threw for 6, 70-14 the final. Tom, back to you.
Well, Lamar Jackson, thanks guys, back in the studio. Lamar Jackson, phenomenal bowl game, and he just continues with what went on the other night.
You know, last season Louisville had such a slow start, losing to Auburn and then to Houston, but they've turned it around, made a bowl game as Dave said, and hope to be a contender in the Atlantic Division along with the Clemson Tigers and Florida State. There is a flag on this play. Farrell was the intended receiver. The holding penalty will go against Liberty.
Holding, number 68, offense.
Holding in this area here.
Holding, number 68, offense, pass interference. Defense, those fouls offset.
Mason's going to get called for pass interference at the just outside on beyond on the screen there. So penalties on both teams, and we'll replay first down.
So the penalties offset, 1st and 10. Masha takes off. Does not run for long. Cut down on the play. Motua Puaka.
Ruling on the field as the runner was down prior to losing possession. 2nd down. Ruling on the previous play, the runner was down.
The ball does come out at the end of the play, but you can see him hit the turf there after a 4-yard pickup. So the Flames maintain possession.
Motua Puaka, they talked about, Roddy talked about how he's the eraser. That's what Bud Foster calls him. Flowing from that linebacker spot. Extremely athletic player, number 54.
Dave, the play is under review. You mentioned Motua Puaka had an interception return for a touchdown against Furman last year and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Both last year.
Yeah, I think in his career now, 3 touchdown returns for Motua Puaka.
2nd and 6 now for Liberty. Masha, who appeared in 8 games last season, only threw the ball 3 times all of last year. And now before this play develops, there is a flag on the far side.
Full start, number 79, offense, 5-yard penalty.
Dave, that's the 6th penalty against the offensive line for Liberty.
Well, they're really struggling with the pre-snap movement of Virginia Tech in their front 7. They like to stem their line. They walk the linebackers up on the line of scrimmage. Safeties will walk up, and it is really causing problems for Liberty.
So now 2nd and 11 from the 24. Masha throws it deep, incomplete. Dante Shells took a dive at it but couldn't reach it.
Boy, he had more time than I think he realized. Stephon Masha gets out of the pressure. They come with 2 linebackers through the middle of the blitz. Masha had time. He just didn't take the time to get the ball to Shells. Shells had gotten free behind the Hokie defense.
Folks, you're watching ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. In the 2nd quarter, Virginia Tech and Liberty. Masha to throw at the 35 and picked off Stroman. Interception for the Hokies.
Well, it's pass rush is what's going to create this situation. Mahota's right here, and he's going to get up underneath the arm of Masha. And he can't pull the ball to the outside. So he's just into the arm, forces the ball back to the inside. Shells expecting the ball outside. Mahota just with a speed rush around the edge, and the ball was thrown too far to the inside for Shells to get to. And Stroman is right there.
Couple of interceptions last season for Stroman. He's got one for the Hokies on a big 3rd down play as they pressured Masha into that turnover. Now, there may be a review coming. The officials have set the football down at the 34-yard line, and now there is a review
Of an interception is under further review.
Yeah, these are tough because it's right on the ground. It's the shoe duster. Got to dive. And Stroman does what you're supposed to do if you're a receiver or DB. Watch him roll immediately over when he catches it. He immediately rolls to his back to show that he's got the ball. You're taught that as a receiver. Obviously, Stroman is a guy that played both receiver, running back, DB in high school. But he's trying to convince the official he's got it. I don't really see. It's right down around his waist.
Well, the responsibility falls on the replay official here at the stadium, Rusty Acree. Now, he is in communication, Dave, with the command center in Greensboro, where there are other officials also watching every single play from all the games.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. 1st down.
And the call will stand, according to Stuart Mullins.
Well, and give Stroman credit, you know, for that technique of rolling onto your back to show that I've got the football. And if there's nothing definitive that shows the ball on the ground, which there wasn't, Justin Fuente's team comes up with its 2nd turnover of the game.
Dave, how about those staggering numbers we just showed you since 1996 for this Virginia Tech defense? The sacks, 338 interceptions now with that one by Stroman as McMillan carries.
Yeah, no one's done it better than Bud Foster's defense over the last 20 years. Taking the ball away and getting after the passer, it's as good as it gets.
44 interception returns for touchdowns, and that is 1st among the Power 5 conferences. That'll be Cam Phillips. Now Liberty picks up the football. It's Alpha Jallo still going, and Jallo is going to jump to the end zone.
Well, Cam Phillips was trying to fight for extra yardage in traffic, and the ball came out late. Alpha Jallo, who started 11 games a year ago at free safety. Just a scoop and score here. Really, Virginia Tech fell a little bit asleep. Let's see when the ball comes out. And there's that man, Wells, again, number 54. Talk about him being around the football, around the passer. He's the guy that swats it out with the big left hand. He's going to come in, number 54. Knock it out right there. And Jallow standing there in a perfect position to scoop and score.
71 yards on the run by Jallow after Wells jarred the football loose from Phillips. And what a turn of events here in Blacksburg.
This is a Liberty team a year ago, Tom, only 14 takeaways a year ago, 32 the year before when they won the Big South, or was a co-winner of the Big South 2 years ago. Last year they had 32 to 14, and that was something they really concentrated on. Can we get the ball out more?
And Liberty won 3 straight Big South championships under Turner Gill in 2012, 13, and 14. As Probert is in for the extra point. The Flames have a 3-point lead. Are they feeling invincible today? Jallow goes the distance, 71 yards. ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. You are watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. Also streaming live on the ACC.com and on the official ACC mobile app, now available to 88 million TV households. This is ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. Have to thank all the folks at Raycom and my broadcast partners, Jones and Archer, for allowing me to join them this season. Looking forward to the second half of this game in the next 12 weeks, but it is really an honor to be on this broadcast team.
Great to have you with us, man. We'd be excited about you joining the team. And a quick shout out to our friend Tim Brandt, who's at home watching the game on TV. Timmy, we miss you. And I know he played golf this morning. He said he didn't play as he didn't play as well as he would like to.
That's all right. He was playing with his grandkids, so it was a great round either way. And I thank Tim for his friendship and counsel over the years. And enormous shoes to fill that cannot be done, but I'll do my best here with Roddy Jones and Dave Archer, Robert Reichley producing. Roy Alfers directing. Sean McLeese, just a couple on that run from McLeese.
Well, when you make a few plays, Tom, in a building that's you're on foreign soil, if you're Liberty here, they now playing with a lot more confidence right now defensively.
Carroll put the shoulder down at the 35-yard line, and that appears to be enough for a first down, Roddy Jones.
Guys, when I was walking on the sideline after that scoop and score by Liberty, it was Sam Rogers, who we've talked about numerous times in this broadcast, walking up and down the sideline, telling everyone to calm down. We just have to put the ball in the end zone to take control of this game.
First down play out wide by Evans. Carroll did make the catch out in the flat.
Well, an excellent job on the outside, too, to defend against the quick screen. Beats the block of Hodges on the outside. Good job. Good play by Holloway, the corner.
2-yard loss on the play, Dave, for Virginia Tech. McLeese tried to turn the corner, and he got collared and dropped. Dexter Robbins proud of his efforts.
Again, Turner Gill talked about the speed defensively for Liberty is the best he had seen, and they are really flowing sideline to sideline. This time Robbins comes from the linebacker spot to make the hit. Head coach has got to be very happy with the way his kids have responded here in a tough situation.
After a gain of 1, 3rd and 11 for Evans. Stands tall in the pocket and delivers. Incomplete, looking for C.J. Carroll. Jeremy Peters was right behind him.
Well, Jeremy Peters and Aaron Holloway were fighting to be who was going to be the starting corner. The other one was going to play in the slot in the nickel, and here we saw Holloway make a play. Here's Peters making a play on a throw into the left flat and breaking it up and forcing a punt.
Ludwig to punt for Virginia Tech. Damian King trying to get away from it. It's a shorter punt that takes a sideways bounce and stops at about the 34-yard line. That's a 32-yard punt from Ludwig. Turner Gill and the Flames ahead. And we'll be back after a word from your local ACC station. Download the ACC Quarterback Challenge presented by Coyote Tractor. New and improved, the ACC's football game lets you practice your passing from the backyard to the beach and quarterback your favorite team. Download for free today. I'll take the quarterback from Iowa State, Dave Archer. And in the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons, Todd Macon on the run for Liberty. Dave, they're up 13-10 here in the second. Best case possible scenario here for Turner Gill.
Absolutely. Taking the ball away 3 times. Their young quarterback seems to have settled in, trying to get him maybe some easy completions.
Macon again.
They want to play it. This is a little bit different pace than Liberty played at a year ago. In fact, they were number 17 in the FCS level in time of possession. Now they want to go a little bit faster. And now that they've settled into the game, I think they'd be willing to step on the accelerator even a little bit more.
Here's 3rd and 5. A return by Jallo, 71 yards off of the fumble for the touchdown. The first time since 2014 that Liberty has returned one for a TD. 3rd down, 0 for 6 in the game for the Flames. Over the middle, it is intercepted. Edmonds into Liberty territory. And another pick for the Hokies.
Now Terrell Edmonds does an excellent job of reading Mosh's eyes. It's man coverage across the board, except for Terrell Edmonds. He is in zone in the middle of the field. He just reads Mosh's eyes. He was in a little bit of a pressure situation, but number 22 going to flow to the football and steal it, and he got a big return as well.
He was looking for Parker. Edmonds ends up with it, a 15-yard return.
Tom, your eyes light up as a quarterback because you see man across the board and you want to take a shot, but they're going to come with pressure, and then you better be on target because there's somebody back there going to steal it.
Hokies back out on offense. McMillan down to the 41. Green with the tackle and a 6-yard run.
McMillan had an amazing year last year. They'd had so many injuries at the running back position at Virginia Tech, and he went over 1,000 yards a year ago.
Trayvon McMillan, 3 times over 100 yards rushing in a game. McMillan had an enormous game against Duke, Dave, where he rushed it 29 times for a career high 142 yards.
Really leaned on him heavily a year ago with the uncertainty at quarterback, the injury to Brewer, and then Mosley coming on.
Incomplete. Trying to catch up with Isaiah Ford.
Jaron Green is going to come clean again. We've mentioned Green and Wells' name a number of times. Number 76, Jaron Green, going to come right through the middle. Here's Wells, 54, coming off the edge. Those 2 defenders maybe sped up the thought process and the mechanics of Evans. That's one Evans would love to have back. He's going to see that one in the film room tomorrow, and he's not going to like that one because he had Ford open to the inside.
Through the air, Evans started 5 for 5. Since then, just 5 of 11. Farrell on the return, walks a fair catch and makes it successfully at the 11-yard line. 8:52 to go in the second quarter. Justin Fuente. What a great turnaround at Memphis in his 4 years. Played some quarterback at Oklahoma and Murray State as well, which ironically is where Coach Beamer was before he came here to Blacksburg.
Pretty good run at TCU too. That's pretty good coaching, Gary Patterson. But he gets to Memphis, and they have had a high-powered offense. His quarterback goes in the NFL draft and was named the head coach here with the Hokies.
So it'll be Mosley, Nigel Williams making the stop. 5-yard pickup.
Well, you always want it to go really smooth and everybody makes plays, but he's such a calm guy. We had a chance to visit with him at Link yesterday. Very calm guy, understood that there was going to be some mistakes. He said he was nervous. I mean, and rightly so. Most coaches are, but they're not nervous about the game per se, be coaching in the game and his performance. He was nervous about his guys answering the call and doing the things that he was expecting them to do.
This pass is incomplete at the 20. A flag comes out. King was the intended receiver. Edmonds, who just had the interception, was on the coverage, but again, there's a marker on the field.
Pass interference, number 22. Defense. The ball replaces the spot of the foul, automatic. First down.
It's going to be on Edmonds.
Yeah, Edmonds had rolled up in the slot and was playing King in the slot, and just on the official's sight, he felt like he arrived a little bit early. Not sure Bud Foster necessarily agrees.
30th year as the defensive coordinator, retained on the staff. Bud Foster. Nigel Williams seeking out the ball carrier Masha for no gain.
Well, they do so many cool little things defensively, Virginia Tech, that you just don't know where they're going to come from. That time Stroman comes on a blitz off the corner. You think you got a basic blocking scheme. You're going to try to run the quarterback on a little lead play there, and here comes Bud Foster from an angle you don't even expect.
Since '96, the second best in total defense right here under Bud Foster and this Virginia Tech program. Masha keeps it and dives at the 21. Swallowed under. Ekanum, no gain.
Yeah, Nigel Williams, number 8, is the guy that blows up the play. They want to run option to the short side of the field. Ekanum and Woody Barron get in on the tackle, but that big fella right there is the guy that blows it up. See, he cuts off Masha. There's no place to go. Big number 8 completely destroy the option play and force Masha back inside.
3rd and 10. Liberty 0 for 7 in this situation in the ball game. Across the 25, Kuhlman made the catch. He's still going to be short of the marker at the 31 on a 7-yard play. Chuck Clark lowering the boom on the hit.
That's what they call him around here, boom, and he did just that. Good call, Tom. But they force you to throw the ball quickly. They get you in 3rd and long, and then they bring more than you can block. So you have to sight adjust. You have to throw the ball quickly, get it out, because as a quarterback, I can't block everybody. So you throw it quickly, and then they generally are very good tacklers in the back end, and Chuck Clark, one of the best.
Stroman waits at his 32-yard line. Turn of the punt. Stroman wants the fair catch. And about the 37 on a 36-yard punt. Gerard Evans will take Virginia Tech back out on the field on ACC football, presented by Mellow Mushroom. (13 to 10), the lead for Liberty. Virginia Tech with the football. Phillips. Up to the 42-yard line for Phillips.
Yeah, just a jet sweep, Tom. Part of the extension, when you go to a spread offense, you've got to find other guys to run the football, and you bring the receiver in motion, Phillips, and get a nice play on 1st down.
Rogers. 1st down for Virginia Tech. A 6-yard run from Sam Rogers, the senior from Mechanicsville, Virginia. Frazier on the tackle for Liberty.
Interesting what Bud Foster said about his own offense. He says they still want to run the ball physical here, and you're seeing it in these last couple of series. Here's another physical run by Rogers straight ahead.
Pushing that pile inside the 45. Wells finally brought him down, but Rogers would not be denied after the 9-yard gain.
Yeah, big Wyatt Teller, number 57, going to get a little push too. Couple of guys helping out. But he said that they want to run the ball physical here, and it's helped them on the defensive side.
They want to throw on 2nd and 1. Deep, but too far for Phillips.
And I don't think Gerard is necessarily settled into what he's seeing in the secondary. I think Liberty's doing a really good job of creating some different looks for him. They're not blitzing as much certainly as Bud Foster and Virginia Tech is, but they're doing enough on the defensive side of the football. Coach Wimberly right there doing an excellent job of mixing things up for the new quarterback here at Virginia Tech, and that ball was thrown into coverage, and Liberty was right on it.
3rd and 1 for the Hokies. Evans 10 of 17 through the air and 93 yards. He'll hand off to Rogers, tries to batter his way to a 1st down, and this is going to be oh so close. Needed to get to the 42-yard line, net by Nick Newman. Hello, Newman, right at the point of attack.
Going to line up quickly trying to line up quickly. It is 4th down, so they're going to go right here. Newman, big play linebacker, comes in, makes the hit, as you said, Tom.
Call it 4th and 1 for the Hokies. Trying to keep the drive going. Evans wants to do it. Breaks it away. Evans down the sideline. Trying to beat one man, and he's forced out of bounds at the 6. Chris Turner got him out, or Evans was going to the house.
It's a look they hadn't shown all day long. They bring Bucky Hodges across in motion, fake the jet sweep to him, and good blocking up front creates a little crease in there. Good patience by Evans, too, because it wasn't initially there. He hesitated after the fake handoff, found that crease, and then hit it.
37 yards on the scamper by Evans on 4th and 1. Rodgers just up the middle for a minimal gain. Solomon McGinty got in his way. We'll give him 1 on the play. There's McGinty, number 20. Hokies went for 63% of the red zone last year.
Yeah, this is a Liberty defense that really was very good a year ago. Red zone defense gave up only 58% touchdowns, so they did a good job once a team got in that red zone area.
To the end zone, jump foot, and off of the hands of Ford. Turner was there also. That was a jump ball between the two.
Hard to throw a jump ball with a 6'3" corner out there. Chris Turner, even though Isaiah Ford, your big timer, is not a small guy either, it's 6'2", but 6'3" corner. Chris Turner goes up and gets it out with the left hand. You'd like to have seen this ball thrown just a shade further away from the corner, maybe a little bit more towards the sideline, but a good play by Chris Turner.
3rd and goal for the Hokies. To the end zone. Again looking for Ford. Touchdown. He's staying bounds. How did he do it?
Well, again, Turner's matched up on Ford. That's the matchup. Watch where this ball's thrown, though. More towards the sideline. And there's the little toe tap. It looked like the left foot was down before the right foot came out of bounds, and Isaiah Ford has what looks like a Hokie touchdown. But the ball thrown more away from Turner, the 6'3" corner, allows Ford to go to the sideline. There's the left foot down. I think it's a touchdown. Might have gotten away with just a shade of a push off, but there's the left foot down before the right foot steps on the line.
Play currently under review. Evans is looking for his 2nd TD pass of the game. He hit Phillips in the 1st quarter from 23 yards, and now trying to connect with Ford from 5 yards away, and the play is under review.
Boy, I really love the ball placement that time by Evans. Evans had thrown the play just before a little bit short, allowed Turner to come in and make the play.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
The touchdown for the Hokies will stand.
You sensed a little bit of resolve in the Hokies on that drive, did you not? 7 catches now for Isaiah Ford.
Going forward on 4th down, Evans, the long run down to the 6-yard line, and they punch it in. Evans to Ford. His slide. 3:31 to go in the 2nd quarter. For the moment, Hokie order has been restored. 17-13. Let's go to the Charlotte studios to Katie.
I like how he said, for the moment, order has been restored. Well, we're going to break it all down coming up at halftime. A look around the league at highlights, but these guys have made some bold predictions, and I know you're liking Florida State.
Knows, youngest team in the FBS last year, all grown up. DeAndre Francois has been under Chris Winky's tutelage down there at the IMG Academy.
Youngest team versus the best team, Clemson. Offensive skill all over the place. Brent Venables' defense, I look for Clemson.
I love it. They're always on opposite pages. We are going to break it all down for you, so keep the dial right here for now. We're going to send it back to Tom and Dave.
That's going to be fun to listen to Stan and Coach go back and forth. You know they're going to battle each other, so that's going to be cool. Some really cool matchups coming up later on today. It'd be fun to listen to those guys break it down.
All right, let's look at our Toyota game summary. Masha, what he's done at the quarterback position. Ford's already had a big day. Just made a TD grab for Virginia Tech did.
Well, you look at the summary and how Virginia Tech has moved the football. Not very good on third down, nor has Liberty been very good on third down. The turnovers loom large, 3 on both sides, and that's really led to some of the points.
18th career TD grab for Isaiah Ford on his 7th catch of the game, and that one will not be returned by Liberty. So late here in the second, let's take a look at our Haviland defensive shield.
Well, it's that stat you were talking about, Tom, when you talk about the defense here at Virginia Tech. 749 sacks, 337 interceptions, the most over the last 20 years for a defense.
1st and 10 Liberty. That'll be Macon. He's got a TD run in the game for Liberty, which held a 13-10 lead until moments ago. Evans and Ford hooking up with a TD pass from 5 yards out.
And you kind of sense this is an important drive for Liberty. They need to find a way to crack that egg that's 0 for 8 on third down. So just the second down situation right here. But they're going to have to find a way to stay on the field offensively.
They'll try to run it with Macon. Roadblock at the 27, maybe a yard. We're inside of 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Woody Barron there.
Looked like Coach Fuente going to burn a timeout here, try to get the ball back to his offense.
Let's check in with Roddy Jones on the sidelines.
This will be a 30-second.
Tom, unfortunately, sometimes you lose a great one, and the ACC did this year. Doug Rhodes, a 28-year ACC official, 8-year coordinator for the ACC officials, ran the officials for all the ACC. 25-year FBI specialist passed away this past May. All of the referees across the conference are wearing these wristbands to commemorate the life of Doug Rhodes, and ultimately it was just a guy that was revered across the conference. Helped you out a lot, didn't he, Arch?
He really did, Roddy. A guy that loved the game, and he loved the officiating of it and trying to get it right and do the best he could. And he was on speed dial for me all the time. I called him I don't know how many times, and he would answer questions for me that I was confused about or what might have happened. But it really cared a lot about the game and cared that it was officiated the right way. We lost a really good man in Doug Rhodes.
25 years an FBI special agent and a great man, and we honor him this season. Liberty 0 for 8 on third down. Masha incomplete. Zach Parker could not hang on with Mook Reynolds draped all over him.
Well, the MO has been the same for Virginia Tech. Get you in 3rd and long, which is 3rd and 7. Come with pressure that you can't protect. Play bump and run on the outside. And Mook Reynolds is there to bat away the throw on the quick slant. And now Virginia Tech's going to get an opportunity with the ball again.
Turner to punt for Liberty. Greg Stroman waits at his 31-yard line. Just did get it away. Stroman wants a return. Cut down at the 30. Elijah Benson. 39 yards on the punt.
Now, Tommy knew that Gerard Evans is going to get his first opportunity here at Lane Stadium, and as we take a look at how it's kind of gone for him, it opened up pretty well. He started 5 for 5 through the touchdown there to Cam Phillips, and then Liberty started to get after him a little bit, but he settled in here in the second quarter, had the big run on 4th down that pushed the ball inside the 10-yard line, and then the excellent throw, the offset throw to Ford on the left corner of the end zone, and he's got 2 touchdown passes, so he's begun to settle in. You kind of knew that he would go through some growing pains here early, but it looks like he's starting to feel pretty good. 3
carries for 36 yards for Evans. This will be Phillips towards the 35. Just a little bit short of it for Cam Phillips. A touchdown catch in the first quarter, and he'll get 4 on that play.
So many weapons around Evans. He has to remember that all he needs to do to distribute the football. 3 big-time receivers and a big-time running back.
Evans floats it to Ford, goes up and gets it, stays stays in bounds. Or did he go out? He did at the 41. But still, another incredible catch with Turner defending.
Well, 8 catches now for Isaiah Ford. Another high point catch against the 6'3" corner Turner. It's an excellent batter. Turner's in great position. Ford just high points it and makes the play. And give Evans credit. Put my guy up the bat. That's exactly what he did.
25 yards on the connection. Evans to Ford. Evans again. Same side. Ford adjusting to that football, but could not hang on to this one.
Now this ball's thrown back to the inside, and he's trying to get back in against Turner. He fights back to the inside. Now he's got to get his eyes on the ball and just couldn't quite get in there. And maybe Turner got the left hand in. Watch the left hand, maybe just enough to get the ball out of Isaiah Ford's hands. Good, nice battle between these two guys.
Chris Turner has a serious challenge on the edge against Isaiah Ford, the junior from Jacksonville, Florida. Ford, who had a huge Independence Bowl, career highs in catches and yardage. Evans can't spin away from the defense here. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
And zone replay. Wells again on the play. Number 54, the defensive end. He has really had a nice first half. Jawan Wells, senior, 6'2", 220-pounder out of Duluth, Georgia. Went to Duluth High School. I'm sorry, Dublin, Georgia. Dublin High School.
Clock continues to tick. 1:17 to go. Hokies have one timeout to work with. Evans, Ford again. And he makes the catch down near the 21. Acrobatic Isaiah Ford, and it's a first down, 20 yards on the play.
Well, they're allowing a lot of hand fighting going on at the corner spot, and I think that Turner feels like Isaiah Ford's getting away with some shove-offs, push-offs.
Phillips in space, trying to get away from one man and can't. Spun out of bounds by Corbin Jackson right near the 20.
It's a good play by Jackson out in space against an elusive player in Cam Phillips. Limited the gain there.
Hokies were strong under Coach Beamer in home openers. They went 26-3 in Coach Beamer's 29 years as the head coach at Virginia Tech.
And one of the guys we have not heard from is Bucky Hodges, their 6'7" slot receiver, lined up right here in motion.
McMillan on the carry. 2 yards for McMillan. It's Nick Newman, number 9, on the stop. And a timeout. Well, the clock continues to roll, but one timeout to go for Virginia Tech. 3rd and 7. Evans looking the way of Ford. He makes the catch, and it's a touchdown. Bucky Hodges. Hodges into the end zone for 18 yards and a touchdown.
Well, Bucky Hodges, we mentioned that we have not heard his name mentioned. He's a 6'7" wide receiver that's played some tight end that can really run. And this was a matchup they were looking for. Sellout blitz, zero coverage, meaning no help on the back end. And an excellent throw this time by Evans to get it out there far enough where Hodges could go get it.
3rd TD pass of the game. Hodges makes the grab and slide for the extra point. Back-to-back passing TDs for Evans to give his team a 24-13 lead after Liberty had led 13-10 in the second quarter.
Really good poise there, too, by this offensive unit. Did a nice job of handling the clock and bleeding the clock down. Only 24 seconds left. As you mentioned, Tom really did a nice job of handling that drive. We mentioned Isaiah Ford and how big Isaiah Ford's been for this team last year. He was an amazing player, over 1,000 yards, the first to go over 1,000, 75 receptions, which is also a record, and of course, the 11 touchdowns. You knew when you came to play Virginia Tech, you better be ready to cover number 1, because if you don't, he's going to cause problems. 17 career touchdowns, trailing only the great Antonio Freeman. And closing in on Jarrett Boykin's record. Today, I believe 9 catches. They check with the greatest stat guy in the world, Freddie Kiger, tells me 9 receptions. And here's the bag of him. He's really had a nice battle with Turner. This is the one for the touchdown. Turner 6'3", Ford 6'2". He's won the day so far.
Isaiah Ford had 12 catches and 227 yards in the Independence Bowl victory against Tulsa. No return from Liberty. Stacking up more numbers today as the Hokies have gone out in front with 24 seconds to go in the second quarter. Bucky Hodges getting into the act. And Dave, all you got to do is mention his name and Hodges shows up with the TD grab.
Well, he's a guy that I know that Liberty's staff was extremely concerned about. Now, they couldn't quit talking about Isaiah Ford and Cam Phillips either. But Bucky Hodges is one of those guys. I had to put Roddy Jones on my shoulders just so we could have an eye-to-eye contact with him.
14 career TD grabs now for Hodges as Mosley tries to shake his way outside. Goes out of bounds just beyond the 30-yard line. 7 completions in a row, Gerard Evans.
And now 10 catches for Isaiah Ford as he starts to close in on his career high of 12, as you mentioned, Tom, as he had in the Independence Bowl.
They picked up 9 on that previous play. McMillan trying to get to midfield, can't quite get there, and he's out of bounds. Nick Newman joined the fray, 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, this was a play that looked like it had a lot more in it, and give Liberty a ton of credit for running with the football. 2 big fellas out front, Gallo the center out there, but then Liberty rallies to it. And again, I keep mentioning it, Turner Gill talked about the speed defensively, and it's certainly been evident. They're really getting to the football.
7 carries for McMillan in the game. That's the call again, and men in the backfield. Driven backwards. They're going to lose 2 as Dexter Robbins closed in.
The senior linebacker, they've got 2 senior linebackers, Newman and Robbins, that have done an excellent job of stuffing the middle and forcing things wide. And then the speed that I've talked about has shown up for Liberty. Third and long.
Yeah, Dave, don't forget next Saturday we're at Clemson. Big game tonight for the Tigers against Auburn. We'll take on Troy next Saturday. Evans runs, throws, and incomplete. Up against the sideline. Diving attempt from Isaiah Ford. Unable to stay in bounds, and 4th down.
Good pressure that time by Liberty to force Gerard Evans out of the pocket. I'm not sure Ford really realized his quarterback had left the pocket until it was almost too late. Ford had to try to work back down the sideline, but no chance.
Ludwig will punt to King. At his own 14-yard line, has to backtrack. Inside the 5 and fielded by King, driven into the end zone. The officials are conferring and they agree. Safety, Virginia Tech.
I thought he'd established himself out of the end zone. I think this is obviously one they'll look at. It certainly looked like King had established himself around the 1-yard line. Now he's going to retreat a little bit.
Receiver presents the ball.
He did spin around and take himself into the end zone. So
Jonathan Galante is number 37, and he hits him right on the button in the end zone to drop him.
Yeah, see, the contact is about the half-yard line, but are they going to credit him with spinning himself into the end? See, there's the contact outside the goal line. Does his momentum take him in the end zone? Roddy, how'd you see it?
I saw it the same way you did, Arch, but as a guy who's returned some punts in the past in this stadium, I can tell you that it's tough with the sun the way it is. King was looking into the sun, and as a punt returner, you're taught not to retreat past the 10-yard line. Put your heels on the 10, and then don't go back if the ball's over your head. Unfortunately for Liberty, King did it, was pushed in the end zone, and now it looks like Virginia Tech's going to have a safety.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Safety.
So they determined that he took himself into the end zone. It was not the contact. That's what we were looking for. Did the Virginia Tech cover man carry him into the end zone? But the sophomore, Damian King, it'd be a little teaching moment for the young man later on.
26-13, the lead now for Virginia Tech. Let's take a look at what you, the fans, are saying. The Mellow Mushroom tweets comes from our Twitter user at Denalani. Hokies rolling. Hashtag start jumping. And at Josh Crosby, Isaiah Ford is just a monster. Ain't that the truth? By the way, Mellow Mushroom wants to give each of these fans $100 in pizza. Congrats, and look out for a Twitter message to claim your pizza. It's a tweetza from Mellow Mushroom.
That's awesome.
$100 in pizza?
Parties at your house if you get that.
Fort Mill, South Carolina? Well, for Justin Fuente's team, the party continues. They had 2 touchdowns late in the second quarter to take the lead, and now a safety ups the lead to 26-13.
On the day when we announced that they were going to have one player every week wear 25 on special teams to honor Frank Beamer, how about a special teams play for some points for the Hokies?
16 unanswered points from Virginia Tech, and they'll get the ball back. Stroman watches it go out of bounds, and the flag comes out also. Get your tickets for the 2016 Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship game. Available now is a 4-pack that includes 4 game tickets and 4 ACC football hats. For prime ticket and hospitality options, become a member of the ACC Football Queen City Club.
And I would advise that if you're thinking about going, do it now, because this has been a game that's been sold out for the last several years. And how about the classic battle a year ago between Clemson and North Carolina?
That was a sellout at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. And the ACC champ all the way to the national title game, the Clemson Tigers, currently number 2, will take on the Troy Trojans. ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom in Death Valley next week. Coverage starts at noon with the ACC Blitz powered by Ram Trucks, and we'll kick it off at 12:30. Memorial Stadium. Evans on the run. Tough throw. Big catch. Cam Phillips elevating for the grab.
Well, you see the athleticism of Gerard Evans because he is being pursued by 3 Liberty defenders. One of them is Jawan Wells, who's been around the quarterback all day long, number 54. But an excellent throw against his body, and then Phillips elevates and makes the catch.
13 yards on the play, produces a first down for Virginia Tech. Evans deep. Too far for Ford.
Well, really good job that time by Chris Turner, the corner, who's had a tough time with Isaiah Ford today, but he did a good job of kind of staying in the way. Ford could never step on the accelerator and downshift to 5th gear and put it in overdrive because Turner just kind of stayed in his way the whole way.
Ford does have a TD grab today, his 18th of his career, 5th in school history, and 10 catches. Run it with Phillips. Cut down near the 35-yard line. Chris Turner coming up to make the play, and 2 yards in total.
Take a look at Evans' numbers. Started 5 for 5 and then ran through a little lean patch there, Tom, and then has kind of settled in here over the last, 8 or 10 throws. He's been pretty good.
Through 38 TD passes, led the conference last year at Trinity Valley, the junior college program, just outside of Dallas, Texas, where Evans is from. Third down play. Rolls that pocket. Catch made inside the 25 by C.J. Carroll. First down, Virginia Tech, and 11 yards for the Hokies.
Well, it's a nice dimension to have if you've got a quarterback that can throw the ball on the move. He's very comfortable outside the pocket, just flips it out there. He's got a big arm, 6'4", 235. He's hit 9 of his last 11 throws, and that was a change that was made from the sideline. You saw him look to the sideline, flipped Rogers and McMillan to the wide side and spread it out.
Evans up to 195 yards passing. They go back to the ground with McMillan.
We see them spread the field, Tom, and throw the ball all over the place. We've seen the guys catching the ball, but the basis of what Coach Fuente wants to do is he wants to run the ball physically at you. Bud Foster mentioned in our meetings that it has really benefited his defense, and the fact that that is part of the basis is that they're physical that's allowed their defense to get prepared to play this season.
On 2nd and 10, Bucky Hodges trying to get around the corner and dive for the 20, didn't quite make it. 4 yards for Hodges.
You run the ball to the perimeter, you have to block. McMillan, 34, just did not get his block there. And he was able to come up and make the play on Hodges. Excellent job there fighting off the block and making the play.
When officials signed out for each player.
Sophomore McMillan. Had to check on Dexter Robbins. Got him over to the sideline. Work in the red zone today for Virginia Tech. Scored on 87% of their chances last year. This one towards the end zone. Hodges trying to run into it, and he makes the catch. Touchdown Hokies.
This was Evans' best throw of the game because he realizes Hodges is running a wheel route. Peters in coverage. He hangs the ball high, puts some trajectory under the ball to allow his big receiver to go find it. He had to go a long way to get around the corner on the wheel. And Evans did a really good job of allowing him to find the ball with some trajectory. Threw the ball up in the air and dropped it down the chimney chute to the big fella.
Bucky Hodges has 2 receptions today, both for touchdowns for Virginia Tech. That one, 20 yards from Gerard Evans.
But when you talk about putting guys up to bat, you got to give him a chance. He drops it right down on top of the big man, Hodges, for the touchdown.
ACC football is being brought to you by New York Life, official corporate champion of the ACC. By Coyote Tractor. By Hardee's. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Lane Stadium here in Blacksburg, opening up back in 1965, and now the Hokies have opened up a 33-13 lead. Bucky Hodges, now 15 TD grabs for his career, Dave.
Well, that guy on the top of the list, pretty good player. Did it quite a while at the National Football League level. Hodges closing in on that number. What a big-time player he is, and what a matchup nightmare he is. 6'7", 245.
No return for Liberty. We're going to our Charlotte studios and checking with Katie. An update on James Conner from Pittsburgh.
Thanks, Tom. I'm here with Stan Norfleet. We do head to Heinz Field for our Hardee's update, and James Conner getting into the end zone.
That's what you call an attitude run. You put an exclamation point on it. The knee is healed, and so is his spirit. Good for him. Look at the boy celebrate. Terrific.
Put up 7-0 right now, Tom.
Boy, great to see the Terminator back on the field. James Conner, over 2,600 yards rushing in 26 collegiate games. Good to have him back after the knee injury and battling cancer. Welcome back, James Conner.
Macon breaking away. Out past the 35 to the 37 and 12 yards on the run by Todd Macon. Chuck Clark on the stop.
Well, both the backs for Liberty run really with a good pad level. Pads are down and they run hard, run through tackles.
It's Macon again. Not quite as productive on this particular carry. Ran into Mutua Puaka, number 54.
Now this is an area now where Liberty's going to have more success. They have not been as good on second down as they need to be to try to keep Virginia Tech out of those blitz looks. Up, bump and run on the outside is Virginia Tech.
2nd and 9. Stefan Masha tosses it out to Macon. Gobbled up. Tremaine Edmonds.
Boy, you want to talk about a guy running to the football now. Tremaine Evans, 49, is going to outrun the entire play. Look at the big fella, 6'5", 238-pound linebacker, a sophomore. Whew. Bud Foster talked about him. He said, boy, he's a special player now.
Tremaine and Terrell, the Edmonds brothers. Big parts of the defense for Bud Foster. 0 for 9 on 3rd down for Liberty this afternoon. Incomplete at the 40. Kuhlman was the intended receiver. Mook Reynolds
Now, Mook Reynolds is kind of that do-everything guy. Plays some linebacker, plays some DP. He's not very big. Let's see if Motua Pawaka, number 54, his left hand maybe got on the football, but boy, good job by Mook Reynolds right in the hip pocket of Kuman. Just didn't quite get in there, but enough to the blur maybe the vision of the receiver with Motua Pawaka jumping in middle of that throw.
C.J. Carroll is back to receive the punt from the Flames. From the 18. Taken down at the 20. 45-yard punt, just a 2-yard return. And Elijah Benton making another special teams tackle for Liberty. Bucky Hodges caught one in the end zone last time they had the ball. Virginia Tech takes over when we come back.
All things ACC are a click away.
Breaking tackles, there he goes. Beautiful throw, touchdown Clemson.
The ACC mobile app.
What a header.
Presented by Outback.
33-13 ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. The Hokies have scored on 3 of their last 4 possessions prior to this one, and 3 touchdowns for Virginia Tech. Evans back to the air. Pumps it up deep. Has a man over the middle. It is incomplete. Right near the 30. Divine Diablo.
Evans has got a big arm now, but you know what? You need to get it out with some of these guys. Diablo outruns the football here. Evans should have let this go way before he did. There was no free safety in the middle field. He knew he had his freshman going to the post, and it's a guy they're really excited about. You look at Virginia Tech's total offense so far, 321. They've got 60 total plays. Memphis averaged 79 plays a year ago, if you want to do a comparison. Good to see Shy McKenzie back. He made that catch there. Shy really had a heck of a year a couple seasons ago. Got banged up and now coming back from injury.
Phillips. Up close to the 29-yard line for Cam Phillips. 3 yards. The sources forced him out, number 42 in white.
You know, you want to do a comparison, Tom, when you look at this offense. The Memphis offense averaged almost 490 yards a game. That was 19th in the country. So those are some of the numbers when you start trying to compare what Justin Fuente's offense could be and what it was, as you begin to see how Virginia Tech might be offensively, especially with the weapons they've got on this team.
Memphis went 9-3 last season under Coach Fuente, as Virginia Tech will have to punt. Back in 2014, they won the American Athletic Conference Championship for the first time. A conference championship in school history for Memphis since 1971. 41-yard punt down at the 30 by Virginia Tech. 33-13, Hokies in front, and we'll be back after a word from your local ACC station. The ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. Virginia Tech up by 20, 7:21 to go here in the third quarter. There's a new quarterback. Stephen Buckshot Calvert is in. He'll throw right away down the sideline, but too far for B.J. Farrow.
Well, I just was amazed that as a freshman you were allowed to have a nickname on the when you're on the depth chart. I think you have to earn the nickname, but he obviously earned it well enough. Buckshot Calvert, young man out of Plantation, Florida, and they really love his ability to throw it. There's Masha, and they had a tough time blocking him. I think Masha's going to make a lot of plays for Liberty this year.
So Calvert in at quarterback. Wants to sling another one. Has to pull it back in and dive down at the 32. He'll pick up a yard. Dave, I did a little bit of research on Stephen Buckshot Calvert. Buckshot is his legal middle name. It's on the birth certificate.
How about that? But you got to take it out of quotations, don't you? Is it quotations on the birth certificate as well?
Yes. Anytime the word Buckshot is shown, you need quotations around.
Okay. All right.
So he's into the game, taking over for Stefan Masha. Masha leaving the game. He was 4 of 15, a couple of interceptions, only 26 yards passing. All day back there. Now comes out of the pocket. reception at the 37. Greg Stroman picked it right out of the air.
Well, you talk about athletic hand-eye coordination, unbelievable play. I guarantee you this is the last guy Calvert had a chance to pick the ball off. He's no more than 7 yards away when he goes up and gets that with his right hand and tips it to himself. That wasn't even in the vision of the freshman. It's his second pick of the day. I mean, he's not even looking at Stroman. He thinks Stroman's got no chance to make this play. Wow.
Greg Stroman had 2 interceptions all of last season. He's got 2 today in the opener against Liberty. Off of 2 different quarterbacks for the Flames. McKenzie.
Now, Shy McKenzie, when he comes in the game, he still has the quicks to get to the outside, but a lot more power in Shy McKenzie between the tackles.
Timeout for an injured player.
There is a player shaken up for Liberty. That is Tolan Avery, defensive lineman, a sophomore from Galveston, Texas. And while Avery comes to his feet and jogs to the sidelines, here's the top 25. It's brought to you by Progressive Insurance. It includes Clemson, Florida State, Louisville, and North Carolina. Dave, some big games coming up.
Yeah, North Carolina travels to Atlanta to take on Georgia. Obviously, Florida State on Labor Day plays Ole Miss, and Clemson against Auburn later on tonight.
It's McKenzie. Stumbles down to the 20. Chris Turner made the stop. 8 yards on the run. And a first down for Shy McKenzie and the Hokies.
So you can see the power in Shy McKenzie now. He's run through 2 arm tackles already. Only had the ball in his hands a couple of times. So there's a power. He's got a lot of power.
He is a sophomore from Washington, Pennsylvania. 5'11" and 215 pounds. And being called upon in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10. Evans, late pitch, ball on the turf. Rolled inside the 10, and Liberty has it.
Well, I like the idea of what Evans tried to do here. McKenzie does a good job of keeping his pitch relationships. You'll see 28. Now go ahead and pitch it now. He waited just a count too long. You see, Shy McKenzie was still where he needed to be, that 4 or 5 yards. Roddy, you made a living running the option play. It looked like McKenzie kept this place where he's supposed to be. Get to Roddy Jones in a moment. Talk a little bit about that option type play. The back is supposed to stay with the quarterback. Even if he runs all the way to the end zone, back's supposed to stay with him. I thought he'd stayed in a good position. Maybe Evans held on to it just a count too long.
The sources covered up for Liberty, and now Masha has come back in as the quarterback for the Flames after Calvert was into the previous series. And now Carrington Mosley up to the 19-yard line. Terrell Edmonds, the sophomore from Danville, Virginia, makes a stop on Mosley.
Mosley played a lot of special teams a year ago. We've seen him show up today on special teams as well. This is a big, good-looking back. He's almost 6 feet tall and weighs 235 pounds. He's a load.
He is the leading rusher in the game for Liberty. Masha throws. Farrow. That's a first down toss to B.J. Farrow, the sophomore from Lynchburg, Virginia. They got 10 yards on that one, and the sticks will move.
Farrow, Liberty Christian Academy. There in Lynchburg. He grew up right there in Lynchburg. Senior year, almost 1,200 yards and 14 touchdowns for Farrow in high school.
1st and 10, a flag comes out. And that initial indication
Number 66.
is the penalty that has plagued Liberty all day long. 7th false start penalty. Roddy?
Tom, it's hard enough to be a student athlete with a regular class schedule, but Virginia Tech's redshirt junior cornerback Brandon Faison is doing it with a pre-med schedule. He told me that he had 2 organic chemistry classes over the summer, wants to be a heart surgeon after he's done playing football. Knew in the 7th grade when his teacher brought in cow parts and they dissected him that he wanted to cut up people and be at heart surgeon. So one of the big examples of a student athlete in college football.
Roddy, defensively, he's cutting up the Flames today, and I think that career in medicine is going to have to wait because the football future of this young man very, very bright in the secondary for Virginia Tech.
Now, Bud Foster said that he's the kind of guy that you hope your daughter brings home to introduce to you. He says he is a quality, classy kid that's got a bright, bright future.
It's 2nd and 9 for the Flames. Masha rolls the pocket. Pass complete. Shells. It's another first down. Good looking play from the Flames, and they get 15 yards off of the connection.
Yeah, really the first time Masha's taken his time and really had the time to get outside. See, nobody in his face now. He can kind of settle in, makes a good throw. Shells sets it down in that area that's open, and Masha's right on the money with the throw. Just spent one series of downs, Tom, on the sideline. Maybe just kind of, hey, get yourself under control. We're going to put you back in the game.
Masha responding to that challenge of Turner Gill so far on this drive. Comes near sideline, but that is too far for Shells again. And you see Edmonds back there defending number 22.
Masha digging himself up off the ground. Hill, Walker, I think, around him on the hit. It's tough to hold the ball very long against Virginia Tech. That was a hitch and go and trying to double move Stroman on the outside. He just didn't have a chance to hold the ball long enough.
2nd down and 10 for Liberty. Told you this is the first ever meeting between these two programs. Masha's pass behind his intended receiver. That was Shells again targeted. They did meet, though, Dave, back in 1975. Liberty played the Virginia Tech JV squad. The JV squad won the game 28-15. That's the only time that these two programs have shared a football field.
Okay.
You remember the days of the JV teams, right?
Yeah, I was a junior college transfer, much like Gerard Evans. We used to play some of the JV teams from some of the big schools around the area.
Liberty 0-4 all time against the ACC. 0-11 on 3rd down. Parker to the 45-yard line, which is where the marker is, but there is a flag behind the play as Stroman made the tackle.
Number 94.
And it's going against Virginia Tech.
Well, it's a really good call. It's roughing the passer, but it's a really good call by Joe Daly. Take advantage of Virginia Tech's aggressiveness. They're coming with pressure, and they throw a screen. That means the line doesn't have a block account, and they can turn all those guys loose. And so all the defenders are behind the play. And at the back end of that play, Masha got hit, which drew the extra 15 yards. But I really like the call by Coach Daly.
Trayvon Hill with the penalty. Moves the ball all the way up to the 30-yard line. Inside of 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Masha's pass complete near the 25. Tremaine Edmonds made the tackle of Zach Parker after a 5-yard gain. Spun him down there at the 25-yard line.
So throwing a little bit more on 1st down, giving Masha. Watch him cut everybody down at the line of scrimmage. Cut all those hands down. Give Masha a throwing lane. Pretty cool deal there. A little cut blocking.
8 of 21 and 66 yards passing for Masha. A lot of it coming on this drive as Mosley barrels his way towards the 20.
You have a little success passing the ball, then all of a sudden the run game kind of folds in. Get a 1st down there. Mosley running straight ahead. First time Virginia Tech's kind of gotten pushed a little bit here from a defensive standpoint.
4th ACC opponent to open up the last 6 seasons for this Liberty team, which has higher aspirations. Currently they play at the football championship subdivision level.
Again, I think they're going to get burned on the stem move.
68. Offense.
This has killed Liberty all day long. Virginia Tech moving late on the defensive front to reset, and Liberty's offensive line has not handled it at all. It's made them flinch 9 times today.
That one was on Tanner Hartman.
That's got to be driving Dennis Wagner, the offensive line coach. There he is right there. That's got to be driving him crazy that they can't fix that.
Hartman's an experienced player too, Dave. 24 starts as a transfer from Penn State. Masha to his left and now towards the end zone and broken up. Faison was back there with B.J. Farrow, incomplete.
Yeah, the heart surgeon on defense right there. Faison is a guy that had a great freshman year, has been really banged up with injury, but back healthy again. You can see the coverage skills did not fall for the double move. Little out and then back up. And Faison was right in the hip pocket and right where he was supposed to be against Farrell.
11th play of this drive coming up, 2nd and 15. Longest sustained drive of the day for Liberty, and the two players involved are not on the same page. Shells and Masha.
And Shells upset with Masha on the play. Shells, the senior, played a lot of football for Liberty over the years, came into the game with 76 receptions, so you kind of defer to the veteran receiver there. Masha has not played as much football.
3rd down for the Flames. Got to get to the 10. Masha sacked. Ekanum came in like a tidal wave and dropped the Liberty quarterback.
Now, we talked about our Food Lion impact players, and Kenny Canham is where it starts. Number 4 going to speed rush off the edge. Just around the corner, and when he gets there, he's stripping at the football. Give Masha some credit for hanging on to the ball. But Kenny Canham came in as one of those guys they're going to need to get a lot out of. He had 4.5 sacks a year ago. This is his 27th consecutive start as a Hokie.
Those 4.5 sacks by Ekanum led the team. He was an all-ACC performer. 48-yard attempt, Alex Probert. Whistles before the snap.
Play of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Another penalty, and that's going to push him back 5. When you got a freshman kicker, I'm not sure that's what they were interested in doing there. You know, talking about Ekanum, Tom, he had 9.5 sacks 2 years ago. 14 on his career, now 15 with that one. Or 15.5, I guess. But he done a nice job and kind of dropped off a little bit last year. They're excited about where he is from a health standpoint as well this year.
Started every game of his Virginia Tech career. And now they go from a potential field goal attempt to a punting situation with Trey Turner. And now Liberty has elected to take a timeout.
They're first.
Let's go back to Charlotte and more from the Pittsburgh game with Katie.
Our Hardee's update does take us back to Heinz Field and Coach James Conner once again.
Had a rushing touchdown earlier, now a receiving touchdown. Great catch with his hands in traffic.
I think the best part has been seeing the guys just surround him and how happy they are that he's in the end zone. It's been cool to see. Tom, Dave?
Boy, it's really cool to see James Conner back. Battling Hodgkin's lymphoma, missed all of last year, had the knee injury as well. Really cool to see him back. ACC Player of the Year, Tom, in 2014, 1,400 yards rushing. Nicknamed him the Terminator a few years ago, and for obvious reasons. He disintegrates guys that try to tackle him.
If you want to see a great feature on James Conner, go to the ACC.com and his courageous battle against cancer and back to that lineup for the Pittsburgh Panthers and Pat Narduzzi. Stroman is the deep man inside the 10. He'll get away from it. Little backspin on that one from Trey Turner and downed at the 3-yard line. And we go down to Roddy Jones on the sidelines here at Lane Stadium.
I wanted to take a look at Andrew Matua-Pawaka today for the spotlight, a guy who's going to be huge for this Virginia Tech defense. Bud Foster called him the eraser, and he has been all over the field today, especially coming in on the pressure. Had 11.5 tackles for loss a year ago. Been putting pressure on Stephon Masha all day. And then here's what I like, his ability to go sideline to sideline and tackle the mobile quarterback in the open field. Andrew Matua-Pawaka is a big reason why this Virginia Tech defense has been all over giving Liberty fits.
Roddy played it really young in his career, obviously now a junior, as you just mentioned, but he got a chance to watch some pretty good linebackers, and he's played a lot and really has grown into being that eraser Bud Foster looking for.
Brendan Motley is the new quarterback for Virginia Tech as he hands off to Shy McKenzie. Now Motley, Dave, last year 6 starts for an injured Michael Brewer. He went 3-3 in those appearances.
Incredible athlete, really was inserted initially for his ability to run and has grown into being able to throw the football a little bit. But he's a big athlete at 6'3", 225, so no drop off when he steps in.
That ends the third quarter at Lane Stadium on the ACC Network. ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. 33-13 on to the fourth.
Back at Lane Stadium on the campus of Virginia Tech as the Hokies lead 33-13 over the Flames. And I think that's the turkey leg that one of our guys in the truck was gnawing on earlier. Vince Hutchinson, who's our TD, he's a big turkey leg guy. In fact, he was asking for one yesterday. Is that the same one? That's the same one. What do you think, Tom?
One today, one tomorrow, one yesterday. It's a football feast here at Lane Stadium. Any way you look at it, as Brendan Motley has come in for Gerard Evans. Evans went 20 of 32. Should he not come back into the game, he'll finish with 221 yards and 4 TD passes as we dive further into the numbers with our game summary, Dave.
Well, you expected the 3 receivers to step up if Evans played well, and that happened. A little bit of a slow start in the kind of the middle part of the first quarter, but after that, they were very good. Put a lot of points on the board.
Liberty led 13-10 in the second quarter. Back-to-back TD tosses by Evans as he found Ford and Hodges through a first quarter TD to Phillips. And then another one to Hodges here before exiting the ball game. First down for the Hokies. Don't forget, next week we're going to Death Valley, Clemson, South Carolina. Tigers have to play Auburn on the road tonight. Currently the number 2 team in the country. And they'll go up against Troy next week on the ACC Network. ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. This is Hodges trying to get away at the 15.
It's kind of how Virginia Tech opened the game as far as their passing game went. Some bootlegs, but the quick throws to the outside where Liberty had to make plays against Hodges or Phillips or Isaiah Ford.
Motley connected on 56% of his passes a season ago. Has to get away from pressure and does the wise thing and throws it beyond the sideline. Phillips was in the vicinity.
Yeah, excellent observation there, Tom. He just realized he was under pressure. Phillips is going to get buried if he throws it to him, so just throws the ball away to minimize the damage.
TD passes in 2015 for Brendan Motley, the senior from Christiansburg, Virginia. Ford looking for some room, diving up toward the 19. Just 2 yards on the play as McGinty made the tackle.
JC transfer Solomon McGinty, who he talked about, played against Gerard Evans in that junior college level. Went to Tyler JC in Texas. Nice play there. Just part of that speed we've talked about that Liberty's going to have on defense. It's going to create some problems for their opponents coming up.
This is King. Fair catch made at the 40. Just to his right, you see there's a penalty marker. 41-yard punt from Ludwig. Fifth-year head coach Turner Gill went to 3 straight Orange Bowls as a player at Nebraska. Never lost a start in the Big 8. He was 20-0 as a quarterback for the Huskers.
Yeah, I'd like to say that I was on the end of
Sorry, Dave.
2 of those. I appreciate that.
I didn't mention that. I mean, you could have left that out if you wanted to.
Well, they were just he was really good at running what they did, and he got them in and out of plays. He had Irving Fryer and Mike Rozier and some guys to give the ball to, so that didn't hurt him at all. But he was the guy that ran the ship, and very poised player.
Illegal substitution, playing with 12 players, receiving team. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot results in a first down.
This is a Liberty team under Turner Gill that you mentioned, Tom, won 3 consecutive Big South titles. In fact, 2 years ago, got into the second round of the playoffs. First time they'd ever been to to the FCS playoffs, and Turner guided them there. Now, last year didn't make the playoffs, but had 2 monster wins at the FCS level. Beat 7th-ranked Montana in their building, and then came back and took care of Charleston Southern at the end of the season, who was number 4 in the country, I believe, at the time. In fact, they've beaten Charleston Southern the last 2 seasons, once when they were ranked number 1 and once they were ranked number 4 in the country. So talking to Turner Gill about the penalty. So you're not allowed to have 25 guys on the field.
Yeah, an illegal substitution infraction against the Flames.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Other than the fact that they had too many guys maybe on the field. I mean, if one team subs, you're allowed to sub, especially defensively. Turner's been given enough information there where he's satisfied with the decision they made. I think they were just caught with too many guys on the field.
Well, it's been a pretty good first day for Justin Fuente.
Well, here are the two guys right here. There's one up here. I don't know why that's double drawn. I apologize for that. There's one right there and one right there. It's on the field. Well, Coach Gill really going to be a good teaching film for him. He's very much into teaching guys about how to play the game and be a good man and all that. He's a very good person, and he's got a really good staff. This will be a good film for them to teach off of.
He was also the head coach at Kansas and Buffalo. Led those programs to some success, especially in Buffalo. Let's go down to Roddy for a little bit more.
Art, you talked about the guy that Turner Gill is. One of the things that he did with his coaches this summer is made them go to his players' dorms and their houses and spend time with them on their turf. He said it's one thing to spend time with guys in the football building around football, but when you're on their space, you really get to know what makes them tick, and you get to talk about more than just football. It's all about life as well.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, Roddy, as we see the penalty for offside for Liberty. But he's one of those guys that believes in the development of the person. He wants them obviously to win and play well in the field. There's no question about that, and they game plan to do that. But he's more about big picture and what kind of men are we making out of some of these kids that show up on campus. Does a really good job of that.
Motley hands it off to Trayvon McMillan.
You know, and when you talk about, as we see a first down there for Virginia Tech change move, when you talk about Frank Beamer and his ties to this university, he was invited to come down and speak to the student body at Liberty, and spoke to the student body, and then they kept him there, and he talked to the coaching staff about special teams play and all that kind of stuff. So Frank Beamer reaching out and helping out in a lot of different areas, but a lot of respect for the Liberty coaching staff, for the legend that is Frank Beamer.
Carroll on the run to the 45. Did he step out prior to that? Yes, he did. About a yard and a half into Liberty territory. 16 yards as Tillman forced him out.
Jet sweep, hand the ball off to Carroll, and again, blocking on the perimeter is the only thing that allows the play to happen. Good blocking for Carroll to get him up the field for the first down.
From the 48 of Liberty, Motley uncorks it to the near sideline. Catch made there. It is complete. Henry Murphy.
You know how long this throw is that Motley just made? As Murphy goes down along the, secures the ball as he tumbles out of bounds. That was about a 50-yard throw for the far half.
That one went for 12 yards. This one to the other side for Murphy. Does not yield the desired results. Incomplete for Motley.
Well, an important opportunity for Motley as well. You may say, well, why are they throwing the ball? Why don't they just run the ball here? At some point, Motley may need to be called on to run this offense, and he's been running it in scrimmages and this and that, but never at the game speed that he's getting right now. So very important reps for Motley.
Motley tries to take off, drags that pile down to the 31. 5 yards, Brendan Motley.
Well, there's no doubt that he can do that, Tom. We've seen him over the last couple of seasons come in situations, whether it be injury or relieving somebody. He can really run. Looked like Liberty was going to show blitz there, and so an adjustment on the sideline from Virginia Tech to change the call. See if Liberty stays with the pressure.
McMillan cuts at the 32. Down close to the 20.
Good job on the perimeter by Wyatt Teller, the guard, and the tight end Chris Cunningham. They're going to get the block. Watch 57 and 85 show up blocking outside. 85, there's 57, Teller. And McMillan's the benefactor on the blocks on the perimeter.
McMillan got 10 yards on that rush. Now 12 in the game for 35 yards. Second leading rusher behind Evans in this game for Virginia Tech. Evans had that long run in the second quarter on 4th and 1. Set up a TD pass to Isaiah Ford. Four yards for McMillan.
Game now starting to be played, or is being played, on Liberty's side of the line of scrimmage, which is, if you want to run the football, it's obviously the way you want it. But I think that it kept this Liberty defense on the field long enough, and the inability to convert on third down for Liberty's offense. This defense starting to become a bit fatigued.
15th play of the current drive for Virginia Tech. Motley looking to the pylon. Incomplete.
Now Justin Fuente has got to be pleased with the way his team continued to kind of work on it and battle, and he was tested. His team was tested. There was some adversity. You always kind of like to see that as a coach. You might not tell your players that they want everything to go well, but they did face a little adversity in the game. Turned the ball over a little bit, fell behind in the home opener, and fans kind of looking at each other going, what's going on? But they got the ship righted. Again, another good teaching moment for him.
Twisting at the goal line was C.J. Carroll, and off of his fingertips, Corbin Jackson was defending for Liberty, and now 4th down. Number 89 is Devin Wilson in there as a wide receiver. Basketball fans of the Hokies will know him as one of the point guards on the team, a team that's made great strides over the last few years under Buzz Williams. Had a great run at the ACC tournament before losing to Virginia in Washington, D.C.
Had a couple wins in the Castle here not far away, did they not? Because of a couple of ranked teams.
This is Sly. 34-yard field goal is good. Joey Sly with another one for Virginia Tech. We'll step aside from Lane Stadium. ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom.
ACC football is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. By Progressive Insurance. By Coke. By Tire Pros. And by Mellow Mushroom, a higher order of pizza.
ACC football from Blacksburg, Virginia, presented by Mellow Mushroom. Virginia Tech just kicked it through the end zone. Sly, now 2 of 3 on field goals, has made it 36-13 with the Hokies in front. Masha, quarterback for Liberty. First time Virginia Tech has faced the team out of the Big South Conference. It's Hickson on the carry. Still moving. And up to the 23 as we go back to our Charlotte studios.
Our Hardee's update takes us back to Heinz Field. Pit all over Villanova. Stan, what's going on here?
What's going on is a thrashing, but you like to see it. They've got a touchdown rushing. They got a touchdown receiving. Now you get one in the kicking game. Textbook, get to the house.
That's sophomore Quadre Henderson. Guys, back to you.
Katie, thank you. Pittsburgh going 6-2 in conference play the first year for head coach Pat Narduzzi.
By the way, Tom, I was watching our halftime show with Stan and Coach and Katie back in the studios, and I saw Stan's list of his player of the year and all that kind of stuff. And I got to reading down coach of the year, Bronco Mendenhall. Did he have like his Virginia shirt on when he made that selection? Or?
I didn't notice, but it's a bold prediction from Mr. Norfleet in the studio.
I think Bronco's going to do a heck of a job at Virginia, but I don't know if you can just wear your colors on the show like that, can you?
Well, I think Stan's a great addition to the team already in the studio, and I know what that show is all about and how hard those folks work back in Charlotte at our studios on the ACC Blitz, powered by Ram Trucks, which gets us started every Saturday with Katie, my good friend Tommy Bowden, and Stan Norfleet. Damian King on the reception for 4 yards for Liberty and a first down.
Boy, Virginia Tech still coming too. Man coverage in the secondary, zero coverage, meaning no safety in the middle of the field, trying to bring more than you can block. And Masha makes a good throw to King for the first down.
Masha's pass nearly intercepted.
Stroman.
Was he looking for the 3-bagger right there to match his jersey number? Dante Shells was the target.
Yeah, just threw the ball behind Shells. Shells is getting position on the sideline, but the ball thrown back to the inside, and Stroman probably had the best opportunity for that one. He made that unbelievable catch, and that one he's going to be kicking himself. He didn't catch that one. That was thrown right to him.
Dave, the guys in the studio also picked who they think will win the ACC championship game this year, and they were divided.
I think that would be consistent with a lot of people around the country.
Yep.
I know a lot of people like Florida State and Clemson.
Coach Bowden had the Tigers, while Stan went with Florida State. The game October 29th will go a long way to decide that one in Tallahassee.
Personal
Flag on the
foul.
play.
Shot block. Number 68 and 70. Offense. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
Of course, there's a ton of football to play between then and now for those teams. They've got huge opening weekend games. Clemson goes to battle tonight against Auburn, and then that Monday game, Ole Miss and Florida State.
And let's not forget the first month of the season, both those teams, Clemson and Florida State, have to play Louisville. I think that's the team kind of laying in the weeds, maybe in the Atlantic. It could cause some major problems. Lamar Jackson had 6 passing touchdowns the other night. You look at the plays, 81 plays. Virginia Tech is kind of on the number they were looking for. They were looking for around 80 plays. That's where they got it. But Liberty was looking for a similar amount, but just hadn't been able to convert on third down.
Masha comes out of the pocket up to the 24-yard line, met rudely by Hulskamp. 56 in orange, white, and maroon.
Well, Virginia Tech has done a good job of really taking away something that Turner Gill and Joe Daly wanted to do with Masha, and that was have him run the ball. They wanted him to be effective in their run game, zone reads, some quarterback draws, and he has had no room to run against this Hokie defense.
3rd and long for Liberty. Hickson. Only to the 25, short gain, 4th down.
Anthony Shigog, who Bud Foster says is going to be a guy that's going to play a prominent role, 6'3", 212-pounder, open field tackle right there. And that was a big tackle because he had room to run. You see Faison was blocked downfield, so a big play by Anthony Shigog.
Forces another punt from Liberty. Stroman deep. He's got 2 interceptions in the game to match his entire total from 2015. Standing at his own 35-yard line. Comes up to meet the football at the 37 and kind of lost it out of bounds there. 38 yards on the punt. A great day for the Virginia Tech fans. Enjoying the pregame activities. That guy didn't make the catch, but the Hokie receivers have. ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. You are watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports, also streaming live on the ACC.com and on the official ACC mobile app. This is week 1 of 13 on the ACC Network. ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. Virginia Tech out in front with just over 5 minutes to go in our game. McCleese is the running back for 6 yards. with that play. Virginia Tech has gone over 500 yards of total offense in the first game on the sideline for Justin Fuente after 4 years of success at Memphis. In fact, in the last 2 seasons, Coach Fuente went 19-6 with Memphis. A couple of bowl appearances and a conference championship in 2014. One of the younger coaches also in all of college football at 40 years old, and he watches Jalen McKinney, a laser through that line, making the tackle.
Well, McKinney going to just shoot the gap from the linebacker spot, not accounted for in the blocking scheme. Good read by McKinney, redshirt freshman, West Wales, Florida. Victor Christian Academy, big time player. They're excited about him.
Devin Wilson on the catch. Can handle the football just as well as he can handle the basketball for the Hokies.
Just a quick hitch route to the outside. Good job of Mosley getting him the ball quickly, and then he shows his toughness. Puts his shoulder down and bowls his way for a first down.
8 yards and a first down for Virginia Tech. Devin Wilson, one of those guys who's made the most of his opportunity to play athletics in the ACC, both basketball and football this year. Just a 2-yard gain on that play with Lease again.
Well, you got to figure Justin Fuente, as much as he's trying to concentrate on some of his younger players getting a chance to play here, the mind probably begins to drift now to a huge matchup in Bristol, Tennessee next week. As the
Dave, our 1st and 10 line brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery, celebrating their 10th anniversary and over $4 billion raised for education. That battle at Bristol coming up next week in a unique setting, Bristol Motor Speedway. As McLeese carries again, it's the Pilot Flying J battle at Bristol. We're going to have over 150,000 people in attendance to watch Tennessee and Virginia Tech, and here is how it all came together, Dave.
It's an amazing feat for them to do this over that short period of time to get it ready to go for football. And Tennessee, of course, coming off a heck of a battle. Boy, the guys from Boone, North Carolina stretched them to the limit, as App State almost stole one in Neyland Stadium the other night.
Vols had to go to overtime before taking out the Mountaineers. Here's our performance of the game, and it's brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. Gerard Evans, his first game in a Virginia Tech uniform, and he performed to a high level today in the opener for the Hokies.
And when talking to him, you just can sense there's something about him. He's not a cocky guy. There's not an arrogance, but there's a sense of leadership. A lot of people say it, the it factor. When he comes in, you can see how guys kind of gravitate to him, kind of want to. You can see the leadership comes out in him. It was neat to see him perform well today.
Try to stretch it with McLeese. It's interesting with Evans, Dave, because we had a chance to sit down and talk with the young man, and he came into the room and sat up straight in his chair and looked us both in the eyes, and Roddy too, and our producer Rob Reichley, as we fired questions at him. You got to remember, he hasn't been in any of these settings leading up to this game, playing at this level, and I'd say he's handled it quite well, at least for the early portion of what he's been able to do.
Absolutely. I think he's been exactly what they thought he was going to do.
Well, with just 31 seconds left, Virginia Tech's going to snap it. Motley takes a knee.
Well, Big South opponents, get ready, because this is a fast, physical Liberty team that I think is going to cause some problems in the rest of their schedule.
Justin Fuente has win number 1. Only 237 behind Frank Beamer, the legend who stepped aside after last year. Coach Fuente trying to keep that link between his staff and Coach Beamer's staff. They renamed the locker room. The street outside the stadium is Beamer Way. And on Beamer Way today, the game belonged to Evans and his weapons at wide receiver. 36-13 ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom as we go down to the sidelines and Roddy Jones.
Coach, it wasn't always pretty. Your team faced a little adversity, but what can you say about the performance today?
Well, I'm happy we won, first of all. You know, we didn't play particularly well at times, but we made enough plays to win the game. It's a process. We've got to continue to get better in all three phases of the game to see how good we can be.
Offensively, this was Gerard Evans' first start at this level. What'd you think about his performance?
Up and down. You know, I have to look at the film before I make definitive comments, but you know, the first thing that comes to my mind is we got to protect the football, and you know, that's kind of the first rule of playing quarterback.
Defensively, you only gave up 160 yards during the day. Made some big plays for you, creating some turnovers. How about their performance as well?
Yeah, I'm really proud of the way they continued to play throughout the game, even when it was really ugly, creating turnovers and getting stops, and got after them pretty well.
Lastly, when you needed a spark, your big playmaker, Isaiah Ford, made some plays for you. What was going through your mind in getting him the football?
Well, we feel like he's one of our better players, and we certainly need to try and find ways to get him the ball. And you know, those opportunities presented themselves today, and Isaiah's a good player. He's a smart player, and he made quite a few.
Thanks, Coach. Great job on the win.
You bet, thanks.
Tom, Arch, back to you.
Thank you, Roddy. What a day for Coach Fuente, that first win. He's over that initial hump. And then next week, it'll be Tennessee, the opponent. Isaiah Ford, what a performance today. Just one shy of his career high with 11 catches, 117 yards, and the TD.
Well, he caught him in a lot of different ways. In traffic, one-on-one on the outside, just out-athleticing the guy next to him, if I can say it that way. This was a big-time catch for a touchdown here. He made himself a big-time target for his quarterback, and he certainly stood up today. He's our hardest working player of the game. Great
Isaiah
job.
Ford.
11 catches, 170 yards, and a touchdown. And real quickly, Justin Fuente, maybe the recruiting job he did on Gerard Evans and Bud Foster. Pretty good recruiting by the head coach.
Yep. Ford, our Duluth Trading Company hardest working player. One touchdown and 117 yards. More to come from Blacksburg. You're watching ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. Our final score, 36-13. Virginia Tech wins it. Dave, in the second quarter, Liberty had a 3-point lead, 26 unanswered points by Virginia Tech.
500 yards of offense, smothering defense. The Hokies are ready to play in 2016.
1-0 for Virginia Tech, a 36-13 win over Liberty as we head back to our Charlotte studios and Katie Witham.
Thanks, Tom. Welcome back in. I'm Katie alongside the coach, Tommy Bowden, and the former linebacker, Stan Norfleet. Guys, this was a game, a kind of a tale of two halves. Stan, I know we talked about it a little bit, those miscues early and specifically those interceptions, right?
Yeah, they got it cleaned up, but Virginia Tech leads all FBS Power 5 schools with interceptions completed since 1996. So it was good to see Bud Foster was retained by Coach Fuente. They continued that model of consistency, picking the ball off, even though they did not have as many as they needed last year. Coach,
they always get better,
Coach Fuente, it's easier to correct mistakes after a win than a loss.
All right, well, we're going to have more. Stick around. We're going to check in with our local sponsors. For all of the highlights and must-see moments, make sure to check out the ACC.com. The Hokies, a big winner today, 36-13. Make sure to check out the ACC Blitz every Saturday, noon Eastern Time, powered by Ram Trucks. You've been watching an exclusive production from Raycom Sports and the ACC Network. For all the guys here in the studio with me, Stan Norfleet, Tommy Bowden, the guys on the ground, I'm Katie Witham. Thanks so much for watching.